Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's the Buffalo Fanatics, the Rico Report. And we here on a Friday night. It's playoff weekend. It's Bills weekend. Time to make a statement yet again. We got statements to make back to back to back to back. Just like we kind of ripped off five and a half wins. 5.5. You got 5.5. We're going to keep it rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, you will notice that I'm at my original backdrop again. Switch it up on you. You got to never let them know your next move. That's how it's got to be. And that's why these Bills got to walk into this, making these Steelers not know what's coming next. We cannot be predictable because nothing worse than a first-round exit. Can't have that. Had it before, it was painful. We ain't trying to have that anymore. We got to go on a run. We got to run that table. And that's exactly what we plan on doing, folks. So big-time matchup coming up this weekend. I could have went out and got myself a Steelers content creator. There are some biased ones out there. There are some unbiased out there. But sometimes you got to go against the grain a little bit. Sometimes you got to go to the division and get someone that's in the division that knows the team quite well. And that will be my guest coming up shortly. But I want to take a minute to give a shout out to everybody tuned in. Do me a favor, smash that like as you guys are in here. And if you have not subscribed or you haven't told a friend or family member about this channel, go ahead and tell them, let them know to subscribe. And if you don't want to miss a beat, hit that subscribe button and that notification button. That's how we roll, folks. Big time game this weekend. And I saw somebody in the chat say, hey, knock it off with that type of chatter. Where are we overconfident? Well, I'm going to tell you something, man. We as Bills fans, I'm not talking about the players now. We as Bills fans, we tend to overlook certain things about ourselves, right? Right now, we're hit with some injuries, some key injuries, right? And we tend to overlook things, right? We did that against the Patriots. Oh, we're going to wax the Patriots. That didn't happen. We lost to them, right? Remember that? Oh, we should take care of the Broncos. No, we saw what happened with there, right? So, like, we tend to get overconfident. And sometimes it's nice to understand what you have, but to be overconfident is too much. And then when things don't go our way, we get to losing it, right? I'm not saying I'm not confident. I feel good about this, but sometimes there's some overconfidence out there. And I'm like, it makes me cringe. You know what I'm saying? You got to respect the opponent. I mean, like, you're going to walk all over it. Playoff football is absolutely different from regular season football. We all know that. So if you think you're going to just come in here and wax teams like you ain't nothing, would I love to see it? Absolutely. Will it happen? Potentially. But you know the sentence. You know the drill. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. So we gotta keep it cracking. So in order for me to get a good understanding, a nice understanding, I'm going to the AFC North. But I'm not just going to the AFC North and talking to my boys, the Zim boys. I mean, the Who Dey podcast, because they didn't make the dance. You feel me? So I got to go to someone that made the dance. And not only did he make the dance and his team make the dance, they're sitting on stage, backstage saying, all right, when is it my turn to perform? Right? He watching everybody else perform. He's like, yo, when is it my turn to perform? So without further ado, let me bring my guy on. Ravens content creator, OG.
Hey, that was an intro right there, man. I appreciate you a lot, man. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat too, man.
Hey, salute to the chat. Salute to my man Ing Ravens. He got that satin. Boy, you looking fresh today. I don't know what's going on, man. What's happening?
I'm trying to keep up with you, man. I can't come on here and be slacking, man.
So. Yo, listen, you changed the backdrop a little bit. The backdrop is a different color. What's going on?
Yeah. Sometimes we change it here and there, man. But the playoffs are red hot right now, so might as well go with that color, man.
I like it. Listen, you can't ever let them know what your next move is. You just can't.
Like you said, you change your backdrop too. So I got to.
Hey, man, you got to keep it guessing because I was using the bar. I mean, I got to use all the facets of this house. You know, sometimes part of your house always never gets used. I said, you know what? Let me use the bar. So I had the bar backdrop. Then it got played out. Then I got to go. I got to switch it back. So let's get right to it, man. Let's get right to it. First and foremost, Ravens had a heck of a year. Number one. All right, y'all had a heck of a year. Obviously, you would have loved to go undefeated, but
Yeah.
But y'all look solid. Sometimes you got to take a couple L's to kind of re
Mhm.
and get what's going on and get the pulse. You guys
Right.
didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver this year, but yet y'all finished with a solid number one seed. Talk to me
Mhm.
before we get into Steelers talk. Talk to me about your Ravens first and foremost, and how you, as a content creative fan, are feeling right now. Is overconfident? Feel good? Are you kind of tempered? How are Ravens fans and yourself feeling right now?
I mean, I've seen I've seen it in the comment section here during this live stream, and we feeling the same way because I saw a lot of people say they feel special this year. They feel like this is the year where we're gonna right a lot of wrongs.
Mm,
And we do. For me personally, I felt that way since before the season started. Just the way that the Baltimore Ravens, the way that they assembled the team, I felt like the only thing that could get in the way of them winning it all was health, because health has obviously been a huge factor with the Baltimore
facts.
Ravens, especially the past couple of years. And it's been rough, man. It's been rough for us. It started in 2020, the playoff game versus the Bills. Y'all were beating us, and then Lamar got the concussion. Then he was out. And then in
Yeah.
2021, he got the injury. He missed the end of November and December. And then in 2022, he was holding it together, and then he ended up getting hurt at the end of the season. So when Lamar goes down, it's been rough for us. We haven't been able to finish it. And I mean, obviously, he's the Ravens starting quarterback, and when you lose your starting quarterback, it's tough for any team.
No
But
doubt.
especially with the Baltimore Ravens and everything that Lamar Jackson does for the team. So this year, with him being healthy, he's been different this year. His style of play has been very different this year, and it's obviously not all about Lamar Jackson, but a lot of it is about Lamar Jackson. I feel like this year when he takes off, he is very not. He's hesitant to take off, but even when he runs, he's not giving it his all. But I mean, he's still extremely fast and extremely agile and whatnot. But he's been holding back, and I can tell it's for self-preservation, just keeping his body intact, just making sure he ain't taking no unnecessary hits, anything like that, and he just preserving himself. And then he did come out and say that that's exactly what he was doing. So come playoff time, I'm really looking forward to him just really putting it all out there. And then just to talk about you mentioned not having 1,000-yard receiver.
Right.
That's been one of the things with the Baltimore Ravens this year that we've been just begging for. Not begging for not having 1,000-yard receiver, but just being able to get it in different ways.
Yes.
Because a lot of times it was all Lamar Jackson or bust or Mark Andrews. But now with this year, is there's been an Odell Beckham Jr., there's been a Zay Flowers, there's been even a Nelson Aguilar, Rashad Bateman contributes as well, and of course recently Isaiah Likely, he's been killing it. So the Baltimore Ravens, the way that they've assembled this team with just so much quality depth, it's been a beautiful thing to see, and it's helped out tremendously to where it's not all on Lamar Jackson. And then just to flip it to the defensive side of the ball,
Yep.
that the defense has been amazing. Like last year, Mike McDonald was his first year being the Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator, and he definitely had some growing pains and whatnot, had some adjustments to make. But this year, I like that. He said, "When threw me off." But yeah, I guess you can say that, man. That's what that all black is for. But with Mike McDonald, Ravens defensive coordinator, this is his second year, and he just been going crazy with it. Ravens have lost a lot of guys throughout different parts of the year, have been missing a lot of guys on the defensive side of the ball for different parts of the year, but they still continue to be a really great defense. And they've been a historic defense this year too. So they led the league in takeaways and points per game, and also in sacks. So they got a triple crown. So yeah, that's why we just feeling like this is it, man. This is the year, especially because, and as you know, I mean, we all know it happens every year. Our teams go through crazy changes. Different coaches get hired, different places. Different coaches get fired. Players get big contracts somewhere else. You can't re-sign. You can't keep everybody. It's the business of the NFL. That's another reason why us as Ravens fans, we feeling like, man, because our coordinators, they keep getting asked for interviews and whatnot. We got a lot of big contracts coming up.
Yes, they do.
So it's gonna be a lot of changes. So that's why we're definitely feeling like this has got to be the year.
I like it, man. So before we jump into Steelers talk,
Mm-hmm.
biggest surprise for your Ravens this year that for you, like, man, I did not expect this, good or bad, where it's like, man, I thought that this was gonna be better, or I did not expect for this to be this good. What would you say the biggest surprise for you is?
One of the biggest surprises I would say is the emergence of somebody who a lot of people won't be familiar with. Because when you think about Baltimore Ravens secondary, most people will think Kyle Hamilton, because his name's been popular recently. A lot of people think Marlon Humphrey. People may even think Marcus Williams, but on the other side, at the cornerback position, Brandon Stevens. He was a guy that he played running back in college, and he switched to corner. And then in his first couple of years with the Ravens, it was a bit rough. It was one of those things where he
transitioned.
Yeah, huge transition. It was one of those things where he would always be around the play, but he just wouldn't make the play. And when that happens, some players that can end their careers. Then they can just reach that to where they can't get past making the play. They're not able to make the play. But for him this year, like he's just ascended so much. And he's been great. I think he only gave up 1 touchdown all year, but he's been amazing this year at the cornerback position. And he's been amazing. He's been consistent. And he's just made such a huge jump. So I would say that has probably been my biggest surprise, has been our second corner opposite Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens.
Pat. Well, listen, man. Let's get into this Bills-Steelers talk.
Let's talk about it.
And before we I want to. What is your biggest what do you take? What's your takeaway of these 2023 Bills this year? Because as a Bills fan, I mean, I already know what it is. We've been. I don't want to tip your hand in any way, but I want to know an observation from outside looking in, right? Outside, and you're looking at these Bills. What do you see about these Bills? What stands out? And is it something that teams should fear? And you're not being disrespectful in any way. I just want your opinion on that, because it ties into how this Steelers and Bills game is going to play out.
Well, first and foremost, shout out to Bills Mafia. I'm sure a lot of y'all in the chat right now are gonna be at the stadium helping out shovel the snow, because that's crazy. Now with the Bills, they are a team, because y'all were out of it for a while, but then y'all came creeping back and y'all came climbing back all the way to the number 2 seed. With the Bills, obviously you look, everything starts with Josh Allen. Josh Allen came out same year as Lamar at 2018 draft. But Josh Allen, he's crazy, man. I call Josh Allen crazy, but in a good way, because Josh Allen, he will make every single throw. He will take every single chance. But the thing with Josh Allen that you got to respect about his game, I guess he live by, die by taking them chances. And that's what it's all about, right? Because Josh Allen, like I remember, it was a game. Oh, it was against the Dolphins. That game, the Week 18 game, where it was 4th down. And Josh Allen, he was looking, searching, couldn't find nobody, and then he was like, you know what? I'm gonna just throw it. I'm gonna just launch it up in the air, and he just threw it downfield. And I think that's when Deshaun Elliott got the pick, right? Former Baltimore Raven, by the way.
They call it I hate it, but they call it puntception. Can't stand it. But go on.
Yeah. So it's like, and then there was another play where it looks like, all right. I forgot what quarter it was in, but Josh Allen just threw it up, and it looked like he was just throwing it up for grabs. But Stephon Diggs, he ended up coming down with it, and the corner was draped all over. So with Josh Allen, he will make those crazy plays where you're like, oh my goodness, wow! But then he'll make some plays where you're like, oh my goodness, wow, what are we doing? And I know that's his game though. And then when he's on the ground too, when he runs the ball, Josh Allen. He's annoying, man, because, like, again, in a good way, he's annoying because defenses, they can have everything taken care of. They can have everything wrapped up. They can have all these wide receivers locked down and whatnot. And then Josh Allen, when he decided to take off, I know they got to be like, this guy, man. And then what makes it worse about that is that Josh Allen, I don't be seeing him. I haven't watched every single Bills game. I don't be seeing Josh Allen slide that much, man. Josh Allen looked to run somebody over, and he's this huge, big quarterback that ain't afraid to go head up with somebody. So he's physical, but the thing that you got to respect about Josh Allen, with all that physicality that he has, with the way that it's weird to say he's a punishing quarterback, but I don't believe he's missed not a single game, right?
He's an Iron Man. He's one of those guys that will not, and he's banged up. As of right now, he's banged up. And the year where the snowstorm, just last year, snowstorm and all that stuff, had played in Detroit, and had a bummed shoulder, and he fought through that. I think it was the elbow of the shoulder. I can't remember. He fought through it, right? Didn't even take time to man. He was like, I'm in that. I can't remember the last game that Josh met. I think it was like when Anderson took over from him. So it's been some time, man. He's an Iron Man, and he's been great. So very good observation. I looked at, and and you said it, he's annoying, and I can't fathom what, like, if I'm a Dolphins fan, it was 3rd and 13. You know what I'm saying? And if they get a stop, they have an opportunity with time on the clock to really do some damage. And my man cocked that thing back, didn't like what he saw, took it up the way. And here's where you said, man, he never slides, right? I think it was Kalen Kahu, number 4 on the Dolphins, made an absolute smart business decision.
Oh,
and
that's when he just
he went Olay and just let my brother get that first down. Man, if you have to take your shot at a quarterback, everything's all said and done is different. When you have guys 6'5", 240 coming at you with bad intentions, yo, Olay, you can have that, man, because I need to play for next week because we already in the playoffs. I mean, that's probably what they're thinking, but nonetheless, very good observation because he is a wild card, and that's the thing with him, right? He will give you 44 total touchdowns, which led the league, and then all of a sudden he's got you 18 interceptions. So he will giveth, but he'll taketh away by putting points on your board. So you take the good with the bad, right? And that's the thing. So I don't know if Ravens fans feel that about my man Lamar Jackson, because I'm a fan of Lamar Jackson, where giveth and taketh, right? Sometimes Lamar Jackson will light you up for 5 touchdowns, 300 yards, and then he'll have a game for like 145 yards passing, no touchdown passes, but he'll manage the game. It's like and this is a great transition because I'm gonna get into that. How do you give Lamar Jackson the MVP? If there are games where and I know you've battled this, I'm sure, but this is Bills fans would like to know this because right now the chatter is, I mean, who do you give the MVP to? Do you give it to Josh Allen? Yes, I know he's got 18 interceptions, but he's also got 44 total touchdowns above, like he's a light years above everybody else in terms of that statistic. And he's got his team in the playoffs. He got them to the number 2 seed. He's tops in a lot of the rankings. How do you not give that MVP to Josh Allen? But then you got Lamar Jackson that got his team as the number one buy team. They're favored, you know what I mean, to probably make the Super Bowl, right? So talk to me on that dynamic between, how do you give it to Lamar Jackson for the MVP and not Josh Allen?
Oh man, that has been a huge conversation for these past couple of weeks. I've been seeing a lot of if I just could see a profile picture, because there's been the particular Bills fan that's been going back and forth with Ravens fans and whatnot. I forget his name, but it is what it is. It's okay. Right. With this, to me, with Lamar Jackson expected to get his second MVP this year, what I've really appreciated about this is that it seems as if the people who are deciding and voting for the MVP is that they're looking beyond the numbers. I know normally it's about who has the sexiest numbers and the best numbers and whatnot, but the people seem to be it seems like they're actually watching the games to see Lamar Jackson's impact. You mentioned how there will be games when Lamar Jackson, they have the 5 touchdown game like he had against the Dolphins, or maybe he'll have a no touchdown game where he don't pass any touchdowns or something like that, where it's not such a sexy statistical game for him. But this is where stats, they don't tell the whole story. You'll see enough plays where Lamar Jackson, he'll have a defender draped all over him. He'll make the miss, and then he'll throw a pass to whoever it may be, and that'll go for a big game. But again, stats don't always tell that whole story. Now, I know with Josh Allen, the Bills fans have been adamant, like, hey, he should be the MVP. And I respect it because, again, talked about leading in touchdowns. He got, 29 passing touchdowns and 15 rushing?
That's right.
What is it? Okay.
My man knows the stats. I got you.
I'm trying, man. It's a lot to keep up. I mean, it's been thrown in my face like a lot of times these past couple of weeks.
Throw it right in your face. I got you.
So, yeah, but no, it's all good. But I think a huge part of it, is like you mentioned, the turnovers. The turnovers are huge. And I think another thing that it's been, I think people are just really looking at the games. There was a stretch, especially toward the end of the year, where Lamar Jackson really started to make his case for MVP. We were going up against the Chargers. We faced the 49ers, the Dolphins, and I think the Rams. They were in there too. And there was another team that I forget, but it was a tough stretch. And I remember when the schedule first came out, He was looking at that like, man, the NFL, what y'all got against Baltimore? What we do to y'all? Y'all really want to give us them 4 teams in a row? But the way that the Baltimore Ravens came out of those games and just winning all of them and the way that they won them, it had just been something crazy. I guess my dogs, they cheering for Lamar Jackson to be the MVP.
I see that. I hear that, man. I think I heard Josh Allen there too, but go ahead.
But yeah, it's been and then you see the all pro voting too, for the all pro team, the one by the Associated Press and then the one by the NFLPA where they have Lamar Jackson at the top. It's really showing me that they're going beyond the games. I know for a lot of Bills fans, they want like a clear answer, like, hey, why is Lamar Jackson the MVP overall guy, Josh Allen? And some people may even say, why is he possibly going to get it over Dak Prescott, over Brock Purdy, over guys who have sexier numbers than him,
absolutely,
passing wise? But again, I think it's one of those things where it's like you're tasting music almost. It's about your preference. What do you prefer? Some people may say Biggie, some people may say Tupac, some people may say hip hop, some people may say R&B. It just all depends on what kind of lens you're looking at it from. So there could be cases made for everybody. There could be cases made for all those guys who we mentioned. And then I know for a while there was a case to be made for Tyreek Hill. There was a case to be made for Tua for a bit. But something about when he go against the Bills, it's just like
we listen. They don't play well against us. We're just a bad match.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, it's been rough, man. But with Lamar Jackson, that's just what it is to me, in my opinion. I think people are just seeing beyond the numbers, and they actually watching the games, and they just seeing his consistent impact on the games, especially in those games. He obviously didn't have the opportunity to go up against every other single MVP candidate. Right. But even when he went against some of them, you saw his impact in the games and you saw their impact in the games and you saw which one is heavily favored. Like when we went against the 49ers, Brock Purdy, that was a rough, I think that was Brock Purdy's worst game ever. Now, Ravens do have a good defense, of course, but 49ers, they do as well. And Lamar Jackson, he did his thing against them. And then Christian McCaffrey, too. He was another candidate for MVP for a while. And did he have over 100 yards in that game? I know he had a nice little chunk of yards in that game, but you saw his impact versus Lamar Jackson's impact. And then in another game against the Dolphins, where you're going against 2 former MVP candidates and Tua and Tyreek Hill, you saw their impact, the lack thereof, versus Lamar Jackson's impact.
Go ahead. The Dolphins are fraudulent. They're fraudulent team.
You know what?
You go up against a playoff team, they crumble.
That is true, because the only winning team that they beat this year, when they had a winning record, was the Dallas Cowboys.
Barely.
That's true. It came on that last game, that game-winning field goal at the very end. That was a really good game, fun game too. But I think that's what it is. And I know, I'm sure for many Bills fans, that will not be a satisfying answer. And that's one of those things that's no, seriously, it's one of those things as a fan where you're frustrated because you feel like I just feel like it should have been my guy. I feel like it should have been my guy that won the award, but it's just one of those things where it is what it is.
It is what it is. So let's go to Steelers now, man. We gotta talk about these Steelers, bro. Mm-hmm. The first matchup y'all played the Steelers, it didn't turn out the way you expected.
Yeah, that was annoying.
Which is odd to me because they had their original offensive coordinator. I mean, they had all that stuff. So you know this team well enough. You've been facing these teams well enough. So I put the question in the chat because I feel like a lot of Bills fans become overconfident because we love our quarterback, we love our receiver, we love our head coach. I mean, some of them love our head coach. I like my head coach. I mean, we love our run game. James Cook is a Pro Bowler. I mean, 1,000 yards rushing, all that good stuff. We look good on offense. We have the O-line is intact right now. So, I mean, we've been looking good. So, and they look at the statistics. Like we all know, statistics paint a different picture sometimes. But there's two stories to these statistics. Once you get into the playoffs, it's a different show.
Right. But exactly.
Division games are different, right? And they played you tough.
They do.
Going up against these Steelers, what problems do they present? Right?
Yeah.
That's what I got to get to you, because then it becomes a problem for the Bills.
Right.
And you know them well enough. Talk to me about that.
This is a big, I can't say it's a trap game because it's a playoff game. So, and like you mentioned earlier, early on in the show, any given Sunday, Any given Sunday.
Mm.
So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a tough game, especially with the weather. That's gonna be ugly. Steelers are an outdoor team, so I'm sure they'll be able to adjust. But I think the weather favors the Bills a bit more than it does the Steelers. But with Pittsburgh, they one of those teams, man. They do so much to just hang around.
Oh.
That's what they do so much to hang around. And I feel like with Josh Allen, with the way that he plays, in my opinion, I feel like this is a game where they could hang around because they and that's how they find themselves, man. That's why Mike Tomlin, I'm sure you heard it plenty of times where he got no losing seasons or whatnot.
Right.
We hear
17 seasons, bro.
Yeah, but he'll have records like 9-7, or it'll be close. It won't be like he going 14-2 or ending up 14-3. It'll be stuff where it's close to 500, but it technically is over 500. So they've been doing this for a while. They'll hang around long enough to where at come fourth quarter they just make a couple big plays and boom, they'll get it. Like even in the game with the Baltimore Ravens, the Week 18 game. Now, Lamar wasn't playing. A lot of the starters on offense weren't playing. Some of the starters on defense were playing, but a lot of them weren't. That game, it was an ugly game. It was nasty. Close, ugly weather, nasty. Close, low-scoring game.
Right.
But toward the end, the Steelers, they got a 71-yard touchdown. Mason Rudolph to Deontay Johnson.
Yep.
So it's like, again, they hung around. Even they were going against backups, but whatever, it is what it is. They hung around, then boom, they made a play. Now, in the previous, where the starters did play early on in the year, the Baltimore Ravens had a league high 8 drops in that game. Ugly game.
That ain't gonna help.
It sure wouldn't. But then it's like they had all those drops, but they were still in it. The game was still close and whatnot. But then Steelers hung around. Lamar Jackson threw a fade route to Odell Beckham Jr. in the end zone. And then it got picked off by Joey Porter Jr. So they made the play. Again, that's the Steelers. The same way we describe Josh Allen, the same word we use to describe Josh Allen, the same word we use to describe the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's annoying to where the annoying thing that they do it's what makes them special. It's what helps them win. It's what keeps them around. And with the Steelers, that's exactly what it is with Pittsburgh, in my opinion.
And I'm glad you brought this up because this is my challenge, my problem. Because I'm saying our Bills fans overconfident, but the Bills fans fail to understand that we allow teams to hang around too long. And when we allow Easton Stick to hang around, we allow Baker Mayfield to hang around and almost win the game. There are too many games that the Bills have let teams hang around that have no business hanging around. The New York Football Giants, we barely beat them 14-9. They're not supposed to hang around. And I love Tyrod Taylor's my guy. I love Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, yeah, we do too.
But no, there's no way, right? So this team, a well-coached team with Mike Tomlin, you let these boys hang around, it's a problem. Mason Rudolph right now, the last 3 games. Go ahead.
No. What I was going to say with this Pittsburgh Steelers, they coming in as the 7th seed. Nobody expected them to really get into the playoffs. So even with them being in the playoffs, like going into this season, I feel like them being realistic, like you had Kenny Pickett, you had Mason Rudolph, you wouldn't expect the Steelers to be a Super Bowl team. But I feel like with low expectations, those can be some of the most dangerous teams because it's not that they don't have anything to lose because this is playoffs, so you got everything to lose. The season is over. But at the same time, it's like low expectations. Hey, the weather's ugly in Buffalo, going up against the 2 seed. We snuck into these playoffs. We needed a lot of help, but hey, we made it. So you know what? Let's go out there, have some fun, give it all we got, and whatever happens, happens. I feel like that's what the Steelers. That's how the Steelers are possibly looking at this right now. Now a big thing that goes in their favor, since it just came out today with Gabe Davis being out, that's huge. This tremendous for Pittsburgh Steelers. How do you feel about the wide receiver core without Gabe Davis? And isn't Stephon Diggs, don't he got some like weird playtime percentage right now? It's been kind of like up and down toward the end of the season.
I see you trying to get some intel, but I'll give you the intel. I like that. So here's the deal. Gabe Davis it's like a love-hate with Gabe Davis because he's got games where he disappears completely. He's got several games this year where he's got no receptions, one target, and ineffective in the pass game, not helping. So him being gone, a lot of folks are like, "Yo, good riddance." You know what I mean? We got Sherfield. Sherfield is going to be just as good as a replacement, but there are
That's the
things
former
that
Dolphin, right?
that's the former Dolphin. That's correct, right?
Who caught that nice
His
pass
strengths,
this pass? Okay.
absolutely. You feel the concentration in the end zone, toe tap, all that. But they're different players, but same at the same time. And the difference is Gabe Davis affects the run game very well. He's an excellent run blocker, right?
Okay.
So having him in the game it makes a difference. He stretches the field. He ain't no blazing speed type guy, but for some reason he stretches the field and gives us all the underneath action, right? And Trent Sherfield can have moments where he's a lazy route runner, but then gives up on plays, and then it renders a lot of these routes ineffective because if not everybody's doing the 100%, then it ruins everything, right? Gabe Davis being out is going to be a test. We're going to find out how much we will move the football in the air. Josh Allen don't give a damn if it's 40 below and it's snowing, it's raining. He's going to throw that thing all over the field. He doesn't play. That's why we brought this brother from Wyoming. He don't play. So that being said, Gabe Davis is going to be a big test for him not being in the game. He's got a PCL injury, and in snow, it's from my guy, the Thigh Doc. Shout out to my man Thigh Doc. You don't want to, when you have a PCL injury, you don't want to be on slippery conditions. It's a no bueno. So you don't want to be there. So him being out is a big thing. So I want to respect your time. So I got one last segment that I want to hit with you.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna let you be. The advantages for the Bills and the advantage for the Steelers in this outcome.
Advantage for the Bills, Bills Mafia, because I know Bills fans are like, they are known to be some of the craziest, most passionate fans in the world. So them having that home field advantage, like there's some people that don't appreciate home field advantage like they should, in my opinion. Home field advantage can make a huge difference, though.
Massive.
Like it makes such a big difference. So being at the crib, home field advantage, the weather, and the quarterback. Like obviously, if you ask anybody, oh, who would you take, Josh Allen or Mason Rudolph? They're gonna take Josh Allen 12 out of 10 times. But the recent experience too. The recent experience with playoff success as well. So I would give those advantages to the Buffalo Bills. Advantages to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just the way that their team just hangs around. I feel like Josh Allen, he may give them some opportunities for some turnovers. Also, the elements and the Steelers, Najee Harris, he is a physical running back, a bruising type running back. This could be a game that features him heavily because of the expected ugly, super cold conditions. And we know, like when it's cold, like you don't want to tackle them tackles. Like as a defender, you feel it just as much as you're trying to inflict pain. You feel that pain too. So being out there in those slippery, icy, cold, freezing conditions, that's going to be tough. So those are the advantages that I would give to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and also them just having low expectations, them making it this far. And when you make it this far after realistically knowing like, oh, we not necessarily not supposed to be there because you made it, so you got to respect it. But hey, we may not supposed to be here, but hey, we here, so we got a shot. So Steelers could have that quiet confidence about them. So I think that's what's going to make this a really, really close game. I do still think that the Bills are going to end up winning it, but I do think it's going to be a super close game. I think Bills win by 4.
I don't mind that. I just want to take the dub. And just so you know, also, I mean, the same way the Steelers not supposed to be here, shoot, the Bills ain't supposed to be here. They were counting us for dead. 6-6. We had an 0.1% chance to make this division, to eat the division and take that. And here we are at the number 2 seed. So we might just be as hungry as these boys. And this might be that opportunity. But listen, man, love the unbiased. I needed that unbiased take from someone in the AFC North, which is such a tough division. I think it's still the best division in football, in my opinion. A lot of folks don't think so. They think the AFC East is. And this was a poll done before the season, which is the toughest division. I said the AFC North, and they're all AFC East. I don't know. You look at the AFC East now, you know what I mean? So the North is looking nice. You got 3 teams in the playoffs. You got to give it to them. But other than that, brother, enjoy your bye week. I know this is a stress-free week for you. You get to watch the football, not have to worry about it. But boy, I'm telling you, that could throw some rust on you boys. And then next week, you never know. I got to read a super chat just for you because there's a super chat that somebody brought in there. So you may want to answer, you may not want to. It's up to you,
Yeah,
brother.
no, that's cool.
But
Let's do it.
there's somebody that's coming at your Lamar's neck. He said, "Yo, Lamar sucks." I disagree with that, but anyway, you know what it is. Dude has a worse playoff record than Dak, Tim Tebow, Jimmy G, Mark Sanchez. Should I keep going? Ravens are the most overhyped team. What say you to that? Golly, my man signified those don't play no games today, boy. He paid for that shit.
Hey, it's all good. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, so that's cool. With the Baltimore Ravens, just to answer that question, look at their record against playoff teams this year, and you do that research yourself, and then tell me if they overhyped. That's it.
Oh, look at that. quick and right to it.
Yeah.
Signifies knows. He said he came back for you. He said, I know he was going to come with that answer. So here's another one. He says, I would love to live in a world where Lamar gets the criticism that Dak gets for losing playoff games. They should win.
we live in there. we live in there, man.
Signified knows he's coming for you. He says, you know what? I'm tired of it, man. These Ravens getting all this love, but look, listen, they deserve the love. They got the number one seed. And playoffs is where things matter. And I know it's gonna be what is Lamar? Lamar's 1-3.
1-3.
1-3 in the playoffs. So
as a starter, yeah.
So that's got to be hanging over a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Because
pressure.
Oh yeah, I think definitely. Because that's what the playoff record is. There's some context with that, but we don't even got to get into the context because that's what his playoff record is as a starter. So it's very important that improves and that it take a drastic improvement this year right away. He got the opportunity to do it. Got 3 games to flip it, go 4-3. So that would be great. But yeah, for Lamar Jackson, yeah, there's no getting around that right now because those are the facts. It's 1-3. So in order to overcome that, it would start next week with whoever they end up playing, and I expect them to handle business. I expect them to start turning that playoff record around. So yeah,
I think they will. By the way, they say that a nice ball cap will go with that fit. You got that jacket, you got that. They need that. Somebody said, "Yo, get that brother a Kango, man."
Oh, a Kango.
Yeah. All right. Listen, man. My guy Ing Ravens came through. Salute to you, man. And listen, maybe maybe we might be doing this again in a short few weeks. So salute to the Ravens. Salute to my man Ing Ravens coming through and showing some love, man. And hopefully we get to do this again, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Salute to you, man. And ladies and gentlemen, that's my guy Ing Ravens came through, showing love. We've built a relationship these last few years, man. So we've been able to kind of chop it up and talk on a personal level. So that's a good brother right there. That's a really good brother. And I don't know anybody that's ever beaten YouTube. This brother, he beat YouTube, man. YouTube was like, "Yo, we canceling your whole station. We're canceling your YouTube channel. You're done." He violated something that was never violated in the first place, and that brother fought and got his channel back. I've never seen it. Yo, God was on this brother's side, man. I'll tell you, man. But shout out to my man Ing Ravens. Did you guys agree with the assessment that he had on the Bills and the assessment that he had on the Pittsburgh Steelers? And I'll tell you this. He said something that hung around, man. He said something that really sat with me. And Steelers hang around. And that's been the Bills' biggest issue this year. Can we not agree on that? Where Bills should be light years ahead of a team or better than a team. Statistically, roster-wise, like they're a better team. They should be a better team on paper, however you want to look at it. But they let teams hang around. And when you let teams hang around, that's when problems happen, right? That's when you put yourself in unnecessary situations. And we already know Josh Allen's track record with giving the football away, right? So if he gives the football away, and I've said this countless times, I'm about to make a t-shirt out of this thing, right? You're taking away your own opportunities and giving them more opportunities to stay in the game, right? So you're giving the ball back to the ops. You can't be doing that. And Josh he's got this satiation with doing that, man. Like he's got to stop. Like that thing's got to stop. There comes a point where you gotta grow up, right? And I'm hoping that we see that from Josh this playoff run. We've got to, right? So salute to my man Ing Ravens came through and shared that. And you know what? I think that's gonna be the new flex, man. That's gonna be a new flex. Instead of going to grab grab a guy that, is a content creator for his team. I mean, obviously you're going to keep doing that, but sometimes you got to stay in the division and go bring someone on in the division and have them kind of give their perspective on how they view, say the Steelers. And he sees them as, like a team that just gritty enough that they just stay in games. And here's the big part, what you guys got to realize. The Ravens right now they're tied for the number one team in takeaways, right? And which is surprising to me because they got 31 takeaways, right? They're tied with the Giants. I did not expect that. They're tied with the Giants for having the most takeaways this year, right? You know who's right after them? The Bills. The Bills have 30 takeaways. So we are just as opportunistic as the next man. I mean, we're number 2 in takeaways. Giving the ball away, this is where we need to fix that, because right now we've given the ball away 28 times this year. 28 times. We're a top 10 team in giving the ball away. That's what keeps games. That's what keeps people in games. That's what keeps teams that have no business being in the game in the game. Stupid turnovers, a fumble here, an interception there, just dumb shit, really dumb shit. But here's the big thing. This is why these Pittsburgh Steelers hang around, because the Pittsburgh Steelers have 16 giveaways. They don't give the ball up. They don't turn the ball over, right? So this is where we have to eliminate giving the ball to them, because they're not going to give it back to us. But we're going up against a defense. They're going up against a defense that does take the ball away. So we're going to have to find ways to be opportunistic in taking the ball away from these guys, but they don't, right? And if Josh continues to do what he does, and it's the norm, you're bound to have this team stick around. And I mean, we can't have that mess. We can't have that mess. So how do we win this game? How do we win this game, folks? And I want to be as interactive. I want you guys to jump in with me on ways that this team, can pretty much put this team away, put the Ravens away. Now, the biggest factor in this is weather. We all know that. It's been talked about. It's known, right? It's going to be snow. It's probably going to be some rain. Damn well going to be windy. It's going to be all the elements that we don't want, right? They're going to try to keep the field as clean as possible. I'm sure of it. But the weather's the weather, right? This is why you want these home games, right? Because we want the advantage. But is there an advantage over the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because the Pittsburgh Steelers, last time I checked, they're not that far away from the Bills. And they get just the same type of weather that we get. Obviously, the Bills obviously get a little bit more. The lake effect and all that good stuff. But my goodness, folks, this is going to be a drag it out fight. Now, I asked my man Ian Rivers what his what he felt the advantages for the Bills. He said home field advantage. Home field advantage is great. Love it. But I don't see that as the sole advantage that we have, right? I was telling my man Pierre and Bobby, man, I was like, guys, and I know you guys are going to feel like, oh, Rico again. There's something I don't feel good about this game, only because of the weather. The weather is what plays this in this part, right? In order for us to come out and win this game, I can sit here and tell you, we got to run the ball. We got to this, and it starts right off the bat on being physical. Physical. Because the AFC North is known to be a tough, brawl it out, physical division. And if we let them bring the fight to us and be over physical, it's a wrap. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a wrap. We have to bring the fight to them. Even though they're coming to our home, we have to dominate right in the trenches. The A and B gap, we've got to eliminate that, because they're going to run the football and they're not going to stop. Jalen Warren's going to be pounding that rock, and so is Najee Harris. Najee Harris is going to be pounding that rock. So we've got to be the more physical team. Here's the challenge, right? Gabe Davis is a physical receiver. He's a physical big presence. He's out. Taylor Rapp, we brought in Taylor Rapp to be essentially the third safety / in the box safety, and he's out. So there's two physical specimens on both sides of the ball that's not there, right? Tyrell Dotson is a thumper of a linebacker, and he's been playing well as of late. He's questionable. We're not sure if he's going to play. There's your fit, and he's the physical. He's a physical guy. I'm not saying that Terrell Bernard is not. Terrell Bernard is just a little undersized. His instincts are going to allow him to be in plays, but we've got to be physical. And I've talked to you guys about at length about this in the past. Where are the dogs on this team? Where are the dogs on this team? You go on the defense. I brought this up last year too. Where are the dogs? Because remember when we lost against the Bengals, I said, where the fuck are the dogs, man? And none of y'all could mention one to me. I was like, who's that guy that you can depend on? I could like, he's gonna be that guy, right? The one guy that I know I can count on to be a dog, and he's gonna is Matt Milano. We ain't got Matt Milano. We haven't had him all year. So who's that dog? Thank you. Where is it? Where's my all pro? I just saw somebody just put the name in and I just missed it. There it is. This guy right here is a dog. If the team can emulate what he brings on the field, Teron Johnson, I'm confident because he brings it every single time. He don't care if you 6'2", 220, he will knuck and buck with you. That's a fact. That's why he's where he's at. An all-pro, second team, but he's an all-pro nonetheless. And the all-pro, understand this, you're voted, it's voted amongst your peers. That's who's voting on that. So they know Teron Johnson's a dog. You saw what he's able to do to Tyreek Hill. He essentially eliminated Tyreek Hill. He essentially eliminated CeeDee Lamb. Did CeeDee Lamb have a big game against us? He had that garbage run TD against us, but he eliminated CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb was supposed to eat out of the slot. Teron Johnson, I can guarantee you he going to bring it. He's a big dog. But we need others to come in. We don't have Rasul Douglas. Rasul Douglas may not even play this game. I like Dane Jackson. Dane Jackson does have a little bit of an edge to him. You go to the line. Like, we going to have to bring it. And that's what it's got to be, because if we bring the physical part of this game, the rest will follow. And I'll give you another dog on this squad. Josh Allen. Big time dog. Right? He will set the tone. He's the type of person that sets the tone. But we don't want our quarterback setting the tone, being physical. But he can. So now you go to the run game. I already know what the Najee Harris and them boys. Najee Harris is a three-time. He's a three in a row. He's got a 1,000-yard back. He's a 1,000-yard back 3 years in a row. Tough. He's a tough back. Jaylen Warren, tough back. So we're going to have our hands full in trying to stop that run. And they're going to try to impose their will all over us. They're going to. They're going to try to do it. So this is where we have to be the physical team. We must. So Ty Johnson, I heard, is looking great to come back into this game. That makes me feel better. That really does. Because I've been saying this for the longest time. Now we're in the playoffs. Okay? You guys know when Rico's such a hater on James Cook. He's a hater on James Cook. Never been a hater on James Cook. I was just hard on James Cook. But the one critique that I had, and it's nothing to do with him per se, but I'd love for him to have a little more weight on him, because come playoff time in these cold weather games, this is when we need to lean on the backs. And at 5'11", a $189, that's light. That's light in the butt. You know what I'm saying? That's light in the pants. Pause. So this is where a Ty Johnson, Latavius Murray, playoff Lenny would come in. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of dynamic they're going to play out. Does Latavius Murray take another seat? Does he sit and let Ty Johnson, playoff Lenny, and James Cook go? So that's where I'm trying to kind of realize, trying to understand where things are coming along here. My man Eric comes in with a question or a statement. Let me see what he's got. The weather is the big equalizer, 100%. We won't be able to exploit their weakness, their QB. They won't pass because of the wind. We won't be able to lean on our strength, our passing game. So not good. See, Eric is at least being a realist. See, this is what I'm talking about. So us coming in so damn confident, pump the brakes on being confident. We can be confident when it's clear, it's sunny. Well, the last time we played the Steelers, we whooped them 38-3. It was in September. What's that supposed to mean? September football, the weather's nice, you're at home, it's beautiful. Yes. But now we're in January. Forget about what the hell we did in the preseason. Forget about what the hell we did during the regular season. This is playoff time. Everything is out the window. And I know people are, oh, here we go with the negativity talk. It's not about negative. I'm very much confident in this squad if we do these things. And it starts with being physical up front. We must be physical up front. Let me tell you something. Before they made the offensive coordinator change, with the Steelers, Matt Canada was having these guys throw the football all over the yard, which is fine. But when they're running the football, it was a lot of east and west. East and west, never up front, never down the pipes and just going, right? They made that switch. They've been a more run-centric team, and they've been hitting the A gaps and hitting the B gaps and been going forward. That's where they've had their success, and that's what they've leaned on these last few games. Obviously, Mason Rudolph coming in with no interceptions, with a over 100 QB rating. He's been putting the ball up. You got to give him credit where credit is due. So that being said, let me go to these Pittsburgh Steelers, looking at their stats here. That being said, we have an opportunity. We absolutely have an opportunity here. Now, do we have dogs on our team? You best believe we do. Are we as motivated, as hungry as the next man? Abso-freaking-lutely. Because we know where we came from. They counted us out. We weren't supposed to be anywhere near what we were doing right now. But here we are in position to make those things happen. So we got to take full advantage of it. We cannot let a Pittsburgh Steelers team hang around. We don't have the luxury for that. The weather don't give a damn. It's going to come down no matter what on us. So if we want to take advantage of this home field advantage, we got to be the ones that establish the physicality in this game, straight up and down. That's number one for me. Off the bat, off the rip, we have to be the physical team. We got to bring it to them. And I'm hoping that there's enough pissed off Bills players on this squad that are like, oh, you snub me on Pro Bowl? Cool. You snub me on the All-Pro? Cool. You know who I'm looking at? I'm looking at Ed Oliver. He's been sensational all year. We need to keep that up. We need that motivation to keep up. Right? DaQuan Jones coming back is amazing. I'm thrilled about that. Leonard Floyd coming through. Love it. And you guys are going to call me crazy for saying this, but I'm all in on having Von Miller play. I'm all in on having Von Miller play. And I was going back over the games and watching some of the games, bro. He's getting closer and closer. He's getting closer and closer. Not to being himself from last year, but closer and closer to being a guy that, okay, I see enough that I'd like to keep you on this field. And this is where his expertise and his veteran ability comes in. I know some people don't want to hear it, but I think Von Miller in this game is going to be essential. I think it's going to be crucial to have. So physicality starts with physicality right off the rip. We've got to be there. Secondly, key to winning these games, right? This game in particular. Obviously, they're going to try to hang around. They don't give the ball up. They're going to try to run that football. We've got to make them run east-west. Plug that middle. Do not even give them every time that you get a chance, they want to run that middle 2 yards. You want to run the middle again, 2 yards again. We want to force Mason Rudolph into these third and longs. You put him in these third and long position, put the game in Rudolph's hands. You're going to have to throw this football because you're facing a top 10 pass defense. I mean, you're facing a number 2 defense that takes the football away. Statistically, we're a better team than this team. We are. We are a better team. However, we've got to take care of these little things in order for us to turn those statistics on paper into reality. Confidence and hope is all we have, Rico. Big difference between confidence and cockiness. And we all know better than to be cocky Bills fans. Absolutely. I just hope listen, I'm seeing some things on social media that I'm like, man, it makes me cringe. It makes me cringe. Now, whether these are just new fans and they just started and, you know what I mean, they're teeny bops, cool, right? But folks that know this team and I know their, you know what I'm saying, their ins and outs, We understand, and I understand this team. We let teams hang around way too much, and then we make it a ball game. And then what do? We depend on who? 17 to bail us out. I know he's Mr. January. I know he's Mr. December and January. We're 19-2 since 2020, January and February. I get that part. Excuse me, December, January. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Let's not make this a game where we need to depend on Josh to bail us out, man. This has gotta be complimentary, if you will. Special teams got to be on cue. Defense has got to be on cue. I know we're feeling some bad injuries, and offense has got to be on cue. But it starts with physicality. Number 2, get these running backs to run east and west. You make them run east and west, man. Flush them to the sidelines. They ain't cutting up anything because they don't got no blazing speed. There's none of that. There's just tough runners, and they're better going north south. So we got to make them go east west. We make them go east west. We can control the game that way. And then Mason Rudolph has got to be their guy. If Mason Rudolph comes in and he's their dude and he's the one that's got to lead the way, and if he beats us, it's got to be on him. That's number 2. These big plays, man. They got receivers that make big plays. Deontay Johnson being one of them, and George Pickens being the next. George Pickens obviously is their best receiver. And right now, Rasul Douglas being out is problematic, right? And I know the last time we played these Steelers, Kyer Elam was in, and he was getting his lunch ate by George Pickens. I think it was the last year. I can't remember what it was, but George Pickens was having a day. Pickett was just throwing the rock all over. Was that in preseason? I can't remember what it was, but it was a game. So that's their guy. That's who Mason Rudolph likes to go to, right? So George Pickens is obviously going to be their dude, and then Deontay Johnson right after. And right now, the last month, these guys were being scrutinized. George Pickens for not giving 100% full effort, and Deontay Johnson the same, right? Fumble on the ground. This boy's just standing there looking at it, right? You got George Pickens in a block, and then he kind of lets go of the block and doesn't continue. You know what I'm saying? So there's an effort level. There's a level of effort that these guys don't always put in, whether that's changed or not. We can make it that way if we start fast on these boys, man. Start fast on these boys. Stop playing no games. Start fast. Put some points up. Put 14 points up in this ugly ass weather. Bro, we can have this. And now you got to put the ball into Mason Rudolph's hands. And he will air the football out. I know some people are like, oh, they're not going to want to throw it. They're not going to. He's going to throw it. If he needs to, he's going to throw it. He's got a cannon for an arm on that man. So we're going to see. We're going to see how this all plays out because I'm very confident in the squad, but I also know my team. You got to know your team's limitations, if you will. You got to. So that's the way I'm looking at this. So hopefully that's what plays out. So for me, physical is the first thing that's got to stand out. You got to be physical with this team. And I hope that we bring that mindset, the aggressiveness, the physical nature of this game, because that's what it's going to come down to it. The more physical team wins this game. That's number 1. Number 2, make these RBs run east-west. This north-south business, east-west, make them flush them out because I feel that we have the speed and quickness enough to flush these boys out. All right? That's number 2. Number 3, man, Josh Allen, no mistakes, baby. No mistakes, no mistakes, no mistakes. No mistakes, man. We cannot allow these teams to hang around. And by hanging around, you know how they do it. But Josh Allen giving the ball away. If we can limit that, who we got next? That's what I want to be talking about. Who's next? But we got to take care of those things first. Now, respect to the Steelers, though. They're well coached with Mike Tomlin. I mean, listen, man. The proof is in the pudding. 17 seasons without a losing record. I'm not saying he's killing it, but the fact that you can keep your team fighting and in the playoffs, they're going to use everything they can to make sure that we ain't supposed to be here. We weren't supposed to make the playoffs. And now we are here. So they're going to fight tooth and nail. It's playoffs time, man. Listen, man. we are just that team that is just so up and down. We don't know, and nothing. My mind is not going to change just because we're in the playoffs now. They're still the same freaking team, inconsistent. We don't know what team we're going to get. So I hope that we dial in. The one thing that is on our side is Josh Allen always shows up round one. He's always ready to go in round one of playoff football, always. And the fact that we're at home, I'm with it, man. I'm with the shits. And I'm telling you right now, get out of this first round, man. We're going on a run. Get out of this first round, man. We're going on a freaking run. We got to get that shit. Got to get it. I feel that we gotta attack a lot of our tight ends excuse me, let me read that again. What's up, Brian Gomez? What's going on? I feel we gotta attack a lot of our tight ends, but they gotta come up with big game. God, Lee, I can't even read. I feel like I'm like, what? What's he saying? I feel we gotta attack a lot our tight ends. They gotta come up with big game without Dave and Kincaid looked good against. My gosh, I can't read I don't know what you're trying to say, Gomez, but let me see if I can try to put that together. Am I tripping? Am I not reading this correctly? Do I sound like I'm losing my mind? Anyway, I think I'll get to what I think you're trying to say. All right. And where we have our advantages is with our tight ends and run game. They statistically are not good with covering tight ends. They're not. And the fact that TJ Watt is not in this game. Yo, Gomez, what the hell were you trying to say? I didn't know what you made me all am I dyslexic? Am I not reading that correctly? You got me thinking of DL Hughley and Dave Chappelle. I digress. Oh, I gotta say this. DL Hughley and Dave Chappelle were on stage at this Mark Twain thing, and they're reading something, and DL Hughley just was having a hard time reading it. He goes, "God, Lee, I got Ebola. I can't even read this." Had me dying. That's what you just made me feel. You made me feel like I had Ebola right now. Okay, what's that brother saying? I can't read that. Anyway, I digress. You got me just messing that thing up. Anyway, so this yo, my boy Gomez's fingers already frozen. Yo, I know, right? Like this boy was like, what you typing on there, bro? Anyway, this is where we can take full advantage. They don't do well with covering tight ends. Could this be a Kincaid game? Absolutely. Could we take advantage of that? You fucking right. As we should. We should be able to take advantage of that. Kincaid had a monster game. We're starting to see a lot more chemistry between Josh and Kincaid. And Joe Brady gives me the impression that if something's working, he's not going to move away from it. If something we are taking advantage of and it continues to work, why stop? And he's mentioned that before. If it's working, I'm not going to stop. We're going to take advantage and keep rolling. So if this is the Kincaid game that has 15 receptions, so be it. So be it, because Gabe Davis being out, now you got to elevate Khalil Shakir, which is great. Khalil Shakir he's been fantastic. We got to elevate, obviously, Trent Sherfield. Sherfield he's going to be obviously given an opportunity in this weather. Show out, because when we brought you to this team, a lot of Dolphins fans were like, "Oh man, we didn't want to lose that guy." So show us what you're about. This is a huge opportunity with Gabe Davis being out. This is an audition, really, if you think about it. And then Deontay Hardy. I don't know what's going on with Deontay Hardy. Is Deontay Hardy going to be something? Are we going to go 3 tight ends? Are we going to activate Quentin Morris? Is this going to be a Quentin Morris, Dawson Knox, Kincaid game? That's what I'm interested in. So, to me, linebackers against our tight ends and running backs, this is our advantage. This is where we can take full advantage of it. This is where James Cook can break open this game. He can absolutely break open this game. But we got to take full advantage. We got to find our moments to strike and strike quickly. We've got to strike quickly. Because if we don't, and we obviously let these boys hang around, that's when problems arise. That's what happens. It's just what it is, man. Let's keep it a buck. I'm just trying to be as honest as possible. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, on the other hand, TJ Watt being out is so massive. He is a game wrecker. He's an absolute game wrecker. And the fact that he will not be in this game is a sigh of relief, because Spencer Brown would have had a game to remember. And Spencer Brown has been playing well this year. It started off pretty shaky and rocky, but he's really, turned in to have a solid year. He hasn't been as problematic as one would have thought he would have been. And having TJ Watt unfortunately he got hurt, but having TJ Watt not be part of this game plan, what a difference is going to make. But they still have Alex Highsmith. They still have Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward is a load to deal with. Let's keep it a buck here. Hayward ain't no bitch. This boy can play. Elandon Roberts coming back and helping these boys play. He had over 100 tackles. He's going to be active. He's a little banged up, but he's going to be active. TJ Watt, folks, had 19 sacks this year. 19 sacks. You know who the next person was? After his 19 sacks, Alex Highsmith with 7. Alex Highsmith with 7 sacks. So beyond TJ Watt putting pressure, ain't nobody else really bringing it like that. 7 sacks. I'm not even scoffing at 7 sacks, but ain't nobody bringing it like that. Next guy is Marcus Golden, another linebacker. I mean, there are 3-4 defense, but another linebacker in Marcus Golden. So, listen, we have an opportunity, folks. We have an opportunity to get busy, and obviously, Cameron Hayward is going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, they got some players on there. Quan Alexander, they got some players out there, folks. They really do. But my goodness, what a big difference is going to be without having TJ Watt disrupt his flow. Some might say, this is it. This is the way in. This is the way in. We don't got to deal with no TJ Watt. Everything is lining up for these Bills to really make a run here. So let's take full advantage of it, man. Let's take full fucking advantage of it. We just can't be letting these teams hang around. Minka Fitzpatrick, yes, he's going to be playing as well. Somebody say, yo, pick on Levi Wallace. I mean, listen, find your weakness and go after them. And right now, to go after someone, you got to go after that linebacking crew. That linebacking crew should not have any way to deal with James Cook. James Cook is too good of a pass catching back for them to be a problem. Josh Allen just has to take it. Josh Allen has to take what the defense is giving him. If you see him right there for the dump off, take it. This is my problem with my man Josh. I love Josh. But we all know he don't like taking dump offs. He don't like taking the check down. Check down for what? He don't want that. And I love it. I love every bit of it. It's exciting for us. But when the play is right there, sometimes you got to take it and let him do all the work. Like my man Ing Raven said, it's going to be cold. Ain't nobody trying to tackle in this cold-ass weather. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to find out who the true dogs are. So, take full advantage of having these pass-catching tight ends, pass-catching backs, right? If it's got to be a short game, so be it. And let's not forget the most important thing here. You got Stephon Diggs up against Joey Porter Jr., which is a very good corner, going up against Levi Wallace, another good corner, solid corner. We all know about Levi Wallace. He ain't no scrub. And then you got Minka Fitzpatrick holding down the middle. So they got a decent little squad. I mean, they're in the playoffs they're not there for no reason. They're there. They took down the Ravens. They know how to play, but that's a division game. So you already know that it's always going to be tough. But at the end of the day, folks, there are some advantages that we got to take advantage of. And right now, it starts in the trenches. You just got to be physical. Who's going to own the trenches? TJ Watt being gone changes everything. So we have an advantage right there on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, we just got to penetrate. We got to do what we must. I mean, our run game right now, we are a very good running first down team. We're actually ranked number 1 in the league. 158 runs for first downs. Number 1 in the league. Take advantage of that. Because you're getting us first downs, A, killing clock, B, moving the sticks, and giving us a fresh set of downs to do what the hell we need to do. Take full advantage of that. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're ranked 5th for splash plays. They've got 14 20-plus yard gains this year. That's ranked for 5th. So what that tells me is a breakdown in the trenches. Someone loses contain, they will take advantage of it. Najee Harris alongside Jaylen Warren. For splash plays, they're ranked 5th in the league. They got 14 of those this year. Cut that shit out and get Take those A gaps away. Take the B gap away. Let these guys go lateral. Let them go lateral. We will push them out of bounds. No gain. Mason Rudolph, ball's in your court. What you got? What you got? They got Patrick Peterson on that side too. Patrick Peterson, wealth of knowledge. And he was the same, and here's the funny part. He's the same corner that was talking about Gabe Davis last year. He says, yo, I know Gabe Davis. I watched the film, and he does. And that's when he was playing for the Vikings. Remember when they were playing for the Vikings and he got that interception because he was watching Gabe Davis and his weak route running abilities. And those are his words. That brother only runs 4 routes. He's like, I know every one of them. And there's 2 of them that I know exactly what he's running. And these other 2, I can eliminate them. So I know. Guess what? There is no Gabe Davis. So now what? You think you're going to be able to do that against Stephon Diggs? Heck no, you're not. Heck no. So those are the things that stand out to me, very much so. So I look forward to it. I'm excited about this game. I'm super excited. I can't wait. And we'll see how it all plays out, man. We'll see. King Noble. My reason I don't think Lamar should beat Allen in the MVP race is that if you were to replace Lamar with Huntley, there wouldn't be a big difference. Oof, that would have been great for me to read that when Ing Ravens was there, because he would have probably said, I totally disagree. And I disagree too, because there are things that Lamar Jackson does that no one in this league can do. No one in this league can do. And there are some elite guys. Tyrod Taylor is as elite as they come. Tyler Huntley is very elite as well, right? In terms of being elusive. Lamar Jackson does these things that just nobody can do, man. That guy's just nasty like that. He's just that good. He's that good in that department, right? So that's that dude. That would have been a great question from my man Ing Ravens. What's up, Ray? Ray, what's up, man? No flags, run and screen game. No turnovers, 12th man. Let's go. Ray's already got it down pat, man. He knows what's up. Stop playing games. If we are the least penalized team, and if we utilize the screen game, I don't know what we are. We are obsessed with the receiver screen, but the running back screen, we just don't do. I'm just convinced that Josh is not, he's timing wise, he doesn't know how to work it. That's what I'm convinced. It just doesn't look good. Because some teams can do it. I rarely see us run. The last time I've seen us run a successful screenplay, Devin Singletary was still on the team. That's the last time. That's the last time I've seen a successful screenplay to the running back. Devin Singletary was still on this team. So that goes to tell you what's up. But he was on the team last year. And the time that it was successful was, I think, 2 years ago. Come on, man. Timothy, what's up, Tim? Tim says, yo, I want to say good luck. I'm a Steelers fan. Go TJ Watt. Man, it sucks that TJ Watt's not playing, brother. It would have been great for you guys, obviously, because he would have definitely changed the outcome of the game. I mean, I don't want to say change the outcome, but change the game plan. Because with TJ Watt, you have to game plan around TJ Watt. Now, whether the Bills team decide to say, you know what, TJ Watt or not, we're going to game plan like he is playing, then it's a whole different ballgame. But now that he's not, you know what I'm saying, maybe they would avoid running to the right. I mean, we love running left anyway, but maybe now, okay, we're going to push the ball left, or excuse me, we're going to push the ball right. All right, Spencer Brown, let's go. Right? Connor McGovern, get ready to pull. Get ready to pull on that trap play. So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out and how it all plays out. All right. That being said, a couple of things I wanted to touch on apart, and I can go back to the Bills chatter a little later. But something I found that was very interesting that I want to play out. There's this Road Warriors playoff party. For those that live in Buffalo, this place called Buffalo River Works. I assume this is a restaurant or a bar. I'm not sure exactly what it is per se. But Riverworks, I guess they're folks that are Steelers fans that own this restaurant. And they're having a Pittsburgh Steelers party. And they're having people come in. And if they're coming out of town, you want to come party with us, come over to my restaurant. You know what I mean? Let's drink, let's eat, let's have a good time and go from there. Harmless. But here comes Bills Mafia. Here comes Buffalo. Boycott this place. How could they do this? How could you be real Bills fans when you live? I'm sorry. That is just the dumbest shit I've ever heard. How are y'all going to hate on an establishment that happens to be Bills fans that are open, that are having people come through and have a good old time, and y'all boycott you're gonna try to take money out of their pockets just because what exactly? Because it's a playoff team and it's not. Just stop it. Just stop it. Why do people do that, man? I don't know where this river. Okay, thank you, Wayman. Riverworks is downtown, weirdest and kind of coolest spot in the city. Whatever. I don't know well, but the fact that they're holding some people at their place, what? I don't get it because we can, Rico. That's bum ass stuff, man. It's like you coming to, like, I don't know. Let's just say we're going to Baltimore, right? We got to go to Baltimore because they're the number one seed, and we make it, and we got to go to Baltimore. And there's a Bills backers bar in Baltimore. We're not gonna go and support that. Stop it. Just stop that nonsense, man. That's just the weakest. I don't care what kind of, but I ride for my team. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. You know what would actually be fun? If you went with a whole bunch of Bills fans and you went to that place and you turned it out into a Bills thing. What, are they going to turn you away? You're bringing money to their establishment. That would be the ultimate flex. Yo, we're going to go there. We're going to have a good time. We're going to spend money, but we're going to make it a Bills place. Oh, yeah, you can decorate it Steelers all you want, but we're taking over. That's the flex. So at least you're saying you're a hater. At least that's what it is. But that's the flex. Not some bum ass, we're going to boycott. We're going to try to take money out of their pockets. Yo, in this economy, people trying to stay afloat and make money, man. And you're going to sit here and not do that? Come on, man. That's the cornball stuff. But at least my man said, yo, I'm a hater. I don't care. I respect it. But still, that's a bum ass stuff, too. C Jello, what's up, C Jello? C Jello says, just tuning in. Am I wrong for worrying about the weather forecast too much? It has me thinking back to when the Patriots beat us only with 3 passes. Thank you very much. See, this is what I'm talking about, folks. My man C Jello gets it. You're not tripping. I think everyone should have that mentality of, yo, this weather is going to make this, it evens the playing field out a little bit more. If it's clear, if it's a regular ass game to get going, then yeah, I'm with you. But it's not. There's a whole lot of factors that's going to play into this, and this is where we got to be tough as shit. We really do. Wayman says, yo, I ain't knocking Riverworks. They can like who they want. I like going there in the summer. Buffalo fans are too spoiled at times with the hometown team love affair. Wayman Brown just stomping it up. I mean, listen, you gotta ride for your squad, man. You gotta ride for your squad. You gotta ride all that stuff, and it is legit like that. It's cool. You know what I mean? But like to sit here and I ain't gonna support that place, and everyone should stop going there and come on. Like, that's corn stuff, man. That's cornball stuff. Yo, they got good food. Like I said, the real flex, grab a whole bunch of Bills fans, grab like 50 of y'all and say, yo, we're going to take over. You know what I'm saying? And go from there. You know what I mean? Play that game. But I'm not on that stuff. That makes no sense to me. But yeah, I just want to jump in there and just kind of put my piece on that. Another good news. This clown right here that went into Buffalo and decided to go on a hate fest and shoot up black folk like a punk cockroach that he is. They decided to give this man the death penalty. I mean, however you feel about, you know what I'm saying, giving someone the death penalty or not, or making them rot in jail, whatever the case is, right? Consequences are consequences, depending on where you're at, right? And this loser, no good nothing cockroach that he is getting what's coming to him. Now, I mean, the good Lord is going to deal with him one way or another. The good Lord is going to deal with him one way or another. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. But that'll be up to the Lord and this man right here. But this is this is news that is satisfying to some folk that say, you know what, took enough time, but this man had no regards for people's lives, and this guy came in and just disregarded life. That's just exactly what it is. So you know what? The same way you disregarded life, the state of Buffalo, I guess, is about to take yours. That's just what it is, man. But at the end of the day, ultimately, you know who's your maker. You're gonna have to meet your maker, right? And at the end of the day, then you'll know your ultimate fate. But right now, that's what's gonna happen. So I'm sure that this will make some folks thrilled and happy. So I'm actually it's good to see that justice served indeed. And Like I said, man, the Bills defense have forced 29 offensive turnovers this season, man. First in the NFL. How cool is that? You know what I'm saying? And total turnovers altogether, folks, is we've got 30 turnovers altogether. How amazing is that? That's freaking amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's get into these playoff games. All right, folks, let's get into these playoff games because there's quite a bit of them going on, and I want to kind of go through them. And any questions, concerns that you want to talk about, this is your chance to jump in and do that. My man said, "Yo, he already got life from the state," and the state said, "We're gonna take more. We're gonna take more." Exactly what they said. Here's the deal, folks. Big games this week, huge games this week. And where do you guys see certain things falling? Where do you guys see certain things falling? So tomorrow afternoon, first game is the Browns and Texans. That game is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one because the Browns, their defense has been just lights out this year. A very good defense led by Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. Like they got a good squad out there, a very good squad. And Stefanski, you know what I mean, is should be a front runner for coach of the year. I mean, he's got, with the amount of injuries his team has gone through, and they're still standing and finished with the 5th seed. Salute to Stefanski led Cleveland Browns, but they're going up against a very good Texans team. That Texas team led by DeMeco Ryan, former player, now head coach, with a rookie quarterback in CJ Stroud. I think he had the least amount of turnovers thrown this year. I mean, at one point he had like 19 and 1 touchdown or something stupid. He finished with 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's like Aaron Rodgers like numbers, man. I mean, obviously a little bit more touchdowns, but he missed 2 games. So I mean, he's good for what, a couple touchdowns a game. So you're sitting at 27 touchdowns and 5. Yo, that's impressive for a rookie quarterback, man. With a 57.4 QBR, ranked 15th in the game. But this brother's a bad man. He is a bad man. I mean, his last 5 games, CJ Stroud, 11. So against the Jacksonville Jaguars, they lost that game. I think he missed the last 2 games. So they lost that game against Jacksonville Jaguars, 24-21. Then they beat the Denver Broncos. He went 60 for 27, 274, and a touchdown pass, no interceptions. Then they lost against the New York Jets. That was a tough one. I think that's the game he did not play. And then they won against Tennessee. And he had, 24 for 32, 213, a touchdown. And then the last game against, obviously, the Colts, where he went 20 for 26 for 264, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So this is a good quarterback. This is a solid quarterback. Who do you guys have in this game? Texans or Browns? This is a tough one, bro. And what the Browns are going to be off. Excuse me, the Texans are going to be on the road, obviously. And I'm actually torn. I'm not sure which team is going to take this one. And according to ESPN, they're giving the edge. Listen, there ain't no edge. They got this 50.5 to 49.5. That is right down the middle. Right down the middle. So they're giving a lot of respect. A lot of respect to the Houston Texans. Wendy Jones is like, yo, give me H-Town, baby. H-Town, baby. I'm with that. I kind of like that. I'm kind of rooting for the Texans because I just feel like it's an underdog, right? Rookie quarterback, rookie head coach. I mean, Devin Singletary, former Bill, is on that squad. You want to see some success from him. So that'd be cool. Because it's like, yo, man, give me that better defense. The Browns should do it. The Browns have a damn good defense, right? So we're about to find out how this all plays out. We're going to find out how it all plays out. Let me tell you something. A note when it comes to the Bills and Steelers, which gives me a little more confidence than I am now. Without TJ Watt, the Steelers are 1-10. Without TJ Watt, the freaking Steelers are 1-10. Here's another stat that I hope that we are not on the other end of. because it's a Billsy. It would be a Billsy thing to be the first to allow this to happen. I just know this team, and we just do these type of shits. Let's keep it a buck here, right? No 7-seeder has won and got out of the wild card round. They're 0 and whatever the case is. I mean, since we've been merging these teams, right? So do not let this team come out here and take down the 2 seed, because that'd be the first. And Buffalo Bills would allow it to be the first team, the first 7 seed to take down the 2 seed. Let's not let that happen. All right. We got too many things on our side. We got too many things that's keeping us, keeping us having the edge. Let's not give that up. Let's not give up that edge. I like that edge. Let's keep that edge. Let's continue. We can't let these guys come in and take that. Just can't. All right. So just win, baby. Yeah. I just want to win. I just want to get out of that first round, bro. Because I'm gonna tell you, we get out of that first round, it's a wrap. Look at that. 0-7. All right. They're 0-7. The 7th seed is 0-7. Let's not allow them to come on here and just muck it up. Take care of business, Bills fans. Bills players, take care of business, please and thank you. Please and thank you. Anyway, Texans. Who y'all got? Texans or Browns? Give me that. Give me your hashtag in the chat right now. Texans or Browns, and who is the game changer in that game? Somebody said 0-7. How's that even a stat? Listen, man. It is what it is. I read it somewhere that it was something stupid like that, and I'm only going by what this person said. I don't know if it was 0-7. I don't know what the actual number is. I just know there was no one has ever won. I think it was 0-6, but I could be wrong, right? Or he's saying 0-7 because it's going to be 0-7. So I guess that's what it is. Rico, my thoughts. Final score 24-21 Steelers. Timothy Johnson. I mean, he is a Steelers fan. So Timothy, I respect that you're on the show. I appreciate you. Smash that like while you're here, by the way. What makes you confident that your Steelers are going to get that score, 24-21? I'm curious then. So let me know. You don't got to give me a long form answer. Just jump in there whenever you can, brother. But yeah, I'm gonna go Texans for the upset. I'm going Texans for the upset. Joe Flacco has been cool. He's 4-1. He's been lighting things up. But I think that this is where Joe Flacco turns into Joe Flacco. You know what I'm saying? Joe Flacco turns into old man Joe Flacco. But I could be wrong. Could you imagine that Joe Flacco's the reason that they come out here and just run the table? Joe Flacco goes back to the Ravens. Like, there's so many storylines in this freaking game of they call the NFL. Because if, let's just say, the Browns take on the Texans, they beat the Texans. Texans, great job. You guys weren't even supposed to be here. Cool. Then it goes Browns, probably Ravens. Fam. Or maybe the Browns Bills. Who knows how it's going to play? I don't know how it's all going to shake out. But that would be something. Browns go back, Flacco against the Ravens, bro. That would be something, man. That would be something. What did Steelers 110? TJ Watt? Yeah, that's right. 1-10. Kim says, "Yo, come on, Rico, say it with your chest now." Kim, you killing me, Kim. You're killing me, Kim. Here's why Timothy Johnson says that they'll win. He says, "Why I'm so confident is because Mason Rudolph, our third-string QB, hit 30 points against 2 major teams we needed, and Minka Fitzpatrick is coming back. Cam Hayward will be there to shine." And that's fair. That's fair. He feels confident because Mason Rudolph, you know what I'm saying, has been able to, put some points on the board. And you got to feel confident because it's giving you a spark. It's no different than when Bills fans went from, we were in a slump and we went from Ken Dorsey to Joe Brady. And as soon as we went from Ken Dorsey to Joe Brady, the offense turned around and started doing big things. Here's the big one for Timothy Johnson, and he's being respectful, so I got to be respectful to him. There's too many things in the way, though. TJ Watt is a big part of your defense. He's a big part of your team. I'm not saying he's the end all be all, but he makes a big difference. I mean, if not for TJ Watt, to be honest with you, that last game you just had against the Ravens, they probably would have beat y'all. But TJ was a freaking menace. He was nonstop. So, I mean, he's an amazing player. You can't take anything away from that brother. He is that good. But I respect that you said that. You mean Minka Fitzpatrick's coming back? I don't know how hobbled and beat up that he is, but he's a big part of your defense. Joey Porter Jr. has been awesome for your squad. Alex Highsmith, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Alex Highsmith, and you guys are well coached. Y'all players play for your boys, and I'm not gonna sleep on George Pickens, man. George Pickens is that dude, man. Love George Pickens. Yo, Rico, Cook better not fumble like Petey from Remember the Titans. Yeah, Petey, you're killing me, Petey, killing me. He better not. I'm gonna get on his ass if he does. But I think he knows better. I think he knows better, and I think he's gonna be all right. Speaking of stats, Steelers 1 win and 10 losses without TJ Watt. Yep. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This is what I'm looking forward to. I haven't mentioned Diggs' name too much this show yet, but this is what I want to bring up too. And then I'll get back into the pick'ems. Stephon Diggs now in the playoffs. Last year, I mean, these several years that we've had Stephon Diggs in the playoffs, he's had some quiet games. And it's like we go away from him. So I hope that this is completely different. Because I'm actually going to look this up. Stephon Diggs in the playoffs and with the Bills, because he's been quiet. He has been quiet. So when I look at what he provides and what he brings to the table, the guy is nasty. He's a nasty mother sucker, man. But the Stephon Diggs in the playoffs, let me tell you what he's done so far. All right. So we've made the playoffs every year that Stephon Diggs has been here. So 2020, 3 games in the playoffs, he had 20 receptions, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was the first year, right? And we went far that year. That was the year we went to the divisional round, right? Stephon Diggs, check this out. Stephon Diggs, look at this though. 3 games, 20 receptions, right? 311 yards, 15.6 yards a pop, 100 yards a game, 2 touchdowns. That was in 2020. 2021, 2 games, 6 receptions, 67 yards, no touchdowns. All right. 2022, 2 games, 11 receptions, 149 yards, no touchdowns. So he had a burst of a first year. You know what I'm saying? No team. We went pretty far. Went to the divisional round, and then we just couldn't cut it against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, we just weren't ready. I think we were good enough, but we just didn't have the right pieces to go along with it. We were outmatched, outcoached, outplayed, outmatched, everything you can name. Second year, like, okay, we got this, right? And this is the game where Josh just went off, right? Stephon Diggs, 6 receptions. Odd. Okay. Call it an anomaly. Last year, 2 receptions, 11 receptions, 2 games, 149 yards. Like, nah, we need more from that. We need 2020 Stephon Diggs. Like, we need to establish something. Now, will it be this game? Probably not. The weather's gonna be nasty. If they want to defy the odds and get it that way, shit, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. If you want to say they're expecting us to run the football, but we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna throw it to them. We're gonna throw it, and we're gonna make them get off their toes, and we're gonna get them. Sure, but involve my guy, because there is no Gabe Davis. So this is gonna be very interesting to see how this all shakes out, because Gabe Davis stretches the field. Now that Gabe Davis is not here, is there less respect for guys like Trent Sherfield, less respect for guys like Deontay Hardy or Khalil Shakir, and they say triple team that sucker over here, and let's see what they got. Tomlin is a damn good coach. Tomlin's going to find ways to take out their best weapon. And then we're going to find out what's really good. We're going to find out, is Gabe Davis a big part of this team or not? Is Gabe Davis just another guy? Is he a jag? Can Trent Sherfield come in and say, you know what? Interchangeable. Either I go in or Diggs, or Gabe goes in, you're going to get the same work. That is what we're going to find out this upcoming game. I'm interested to see how it plays out. I really am. Here comes Timothy Johnson saying another reason he feels he's going to win. Now you're getting out of pocket now, bro. What's he got to say? He says another reason why I'm confident too is because we are playing in the snow in this game. Steelers love to play in the snow. Buffalo doesn't as much, so we don't need TJ Watt this game. He's my guy though. This is where I disagree. I think this is where I disagree because at this point, I mean, both teams play in the elements. They both play in the elements. Whether you want to call it one plays better in one and the other, it's about who's the bigger dog in this one. It's about who wants it more at the end of the day. That's what it's going to come down to. Who wants it more? Who's going to mentally check in and take care of business, win their one-on-one, win their assignment every play going forward. That's what it's going to come down to. That's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. What's up, Cardero? What's up, my guy? Cardero's been a member a long time. Salute to my man, Cardero Linder. Yo, what's up, bro? Give me Bills, Eagles, Rams, Chiefs, Browns, and Cowboys. Ooh, okay. We're going to go through them games, man. We're going to go through them games. So he likes the Bills, obviously. He likes the Eagles over who the Eagles playing. Eagles are playing they play Monday night. I'll find out who they're playing. Who the Eagles playing again? Let's see who they're playing. Playing the Rams? No, who they play? They're playing an insignificant team. I don't remember the team that they're playing, but it's like not a team that I'm like, oh, yeah, the Bucks. That's who they're playing. They're playing the Bucks. Yeah. You know what though? I'm not ready to give the Eagles that game, bro, because listen, Jalen Hurts hasn't thrown the football since he hurt his finger. Has not thrown the football. So he's about to go in this game and find out if he can do it or not. And if he once he does get in the game and it's like it feels like garbage, bro, that's a tough game for them to win. You might get Baker Mayfield to get out of there and win that game and go from there. I think we might see two upsets, man. Two upset specials. I'm calling the Texans over the Browns, and I'm calling the Bucks over the Eagles. And then that's what's going to get Sirianni fired. And once Sirianni gets fired, maybe Bill Belichick, that's where he goes. Who knows? But that's the way I see it. But Cardero Linda, I appreciate you, bro. Cardero. All right, here we go. Let's keep it rolling, Rose. Let's keep it rolling. So for me, I gotta let me get Timothy first because Timothy was talking about like he's confident because TJ Watt's the elements of snow. It's about who wants it more at the end of the day. Who wants it more? Who's gonna be more physical? I ain't with the because one guy plays better in the snow than the other. No. A lot of these guys are mixed with a whole bunch of guys from Florida, guys from Iowa, guys from Midwest, guys from up north in Canada. Like, listen, there's all different mismatches of guys on each team. I mean, it's all about at the end of the day who wants it more. That's what it comes down to. Simple as that. Simple as that. So Texans for me, I'm taking the Texans over the Browns. Nothing else for me to talk about. The spread right now is 1.5, minus 1.5 Cleveland. I mean, shoot, that's how close they know it's going to be. It's going to be mad close. And the over-under is 44.5. So take your pick, folks. Take your pick. The evening game, the night game, Chiefs, Dolphins. The Chiefs and the Dolphins. So right now, in this Chiefs-Dolphins game, they have this. The predictor has the Chiefs with a 52% chance to win this thing. 52% chance. And we go from there. Paul Costa says, yo, wow, Rico, that's an interesting Belichick prediction. I've heard so many teams for Belichick. Yo, you put Belichick on the Eagles, bro, he'll make it work with the Eagles. I'm gonna tell you right now, and you can get him the heck out of the AFC. And you put him with the Eagles with that defensive line that they have. They got a running back, they got receivers, they got AJ Brown, and they got Devontae Smith, and they got Dallas Goedert, and you got Jalen Hurts. Bro, put Belichick on that squad. Yo, the Patriot way. He gonna try to, or he might change, right? The same way that we saw Tom Brady change up, and we started realizing how lovely he was, and how amazing he was, and how we used to. I mean, how many of you guys in here? I bet you every one of y'all in here, when he was with the Patriots, fuck Tom Brady, hate that dude, with respect, obviously, because he's so damn good. The minute he left The minute he left that squad, what happened? We love Tom Brady. Tom Brady ended up being the guy that we're like, yo, this guy is super chill. I got my glasses all stuck. This guy's super chill. I like him. He's hilarious. He's part of the freaking Buccaneers. Oh man, he's drunk. Are you kidding me? He became more open. He became more of like a likable guy, right? So Bill Belichick might become a likable guy. He might be that guy that comes in and all of a sudden we're like, what? I mean, to the point where nobody expected it. But when Randy Moss back in 2007 was on the squad, he goes, yo, Bill, I want you to come to my Halloween party and I want you to dress up. Walter's like, I hate him. I don't want anything to do with that, brother. Walter's like, yo, speak for yourself, brother. I don't care for that guy. But Bill Belichick showed up. Not only did he show up to Randy Moss's party, but he showed up dressed up in roller skates with his woman, and they went roller skating. I think he was dressed up as Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean, my guy. So maybe when he goes to Philly, brotherly love and all that shit, he's going to be all over it if Sirianni can't get the job done and he gets fired, because right now there's a lot of speculation that he's going to get let go because he just lost the team. So this team is too damn talented. They got too much talent on that team and they spent too much money to bring all these guys on this team for y'all to be just bullshitting around. It's just what it is. So if Sirianni gets fired, Bill Belichick to the Philadelphia Eagles? Oh, I can totally see it. The hoodie in Philly? Woo! That'd be dirty, man. That'd be dirty. And he ends his career over there on the NFC. And now you guys can go give these other guys fits over there. That'd be interesting. I know everybody wants to say Bill's coming to LA to be with the Chargers, but the Chargers they're bad in cap. They don't got the cap, and they don't have the roster. Why would you go over there? No. Don't put yourself in a position where you got to rebuild. You want to set yourself up where you got something and you can just build on top of it, not rebuild it. So go to Philly. Philly, you can build on top of that. I mean, you already have an owner that is all in. He wants to make sure he wins. You bring Belichick over there. Can't go wrong. Him in Philly, I don't like him in LA. Him in LA, I don't like that fit. Even Atlanta, I'm like, him in Atlanta? I can't see Bill Belichick in Atlanta. I just can't. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Kim Betts, I see that. I just can't see it. I can't see it in there. Timothy Johnson says, yo, Rico, I have a question for you, man. What would you do if the Bills will lose against the Steelers? Because the underdogs are waiting for the game. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. First of all, if we lose, I told everybody I'm shutting this whole channel down. If we lose, is it Buffalo Fanatics is shut down. Boop. And it's going to reopen as Steelers Fanatics. Simple as that. That's done. And then I'll become a Steelers fan, and then we rock. It's going to be me, Mike Tomlin. We're going to be rocking that. Listen, man, it's going to be a good game. Listen, the better team should win this game. The better team should win the game, and it should be the Bills. Simple as that. And if we don't, it's obvious reasons we shot ourselves in the foot, terminated too many turnovers, and we're going to be pointing the finger at Josh Allen. That's what it is. But we're not here for that. We're here for positive vibes. We're going to win this game, and that's going to be that. Timothy, why are you trying to get Rico to talk about a loss whenever you know that they're going to lose? Exactly, John. Get him, John. Get him, Johnny. All right. We got a super chat coming from my man GQ Bobby. What's up, GQ? GQ says, yo, wow. Josh didn't make first or second team All-Pro after leading the league in total TDs and yards. Okay. He's about to go nuclear in these playoffs. Listen, man. Some players take it to heart and some don't. I have a feeling that Josh Allen, Ed Oliver are taking all this shit to heart. Deion Dawkins are taking this all to heart. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not Deion Dawkins per se, but Ed Oliver, though, yo, he deserved at least a Pro Bowl, at least that, and an All-Pro, second team at that. Damn. And you're not going to give it to him? And I'm not even sure what kind of year Buddy had. Because like first team All-Pros were, who was it? Chris Jones was one of them. And who was the other one for first team All-Pro? I can't think of who it was. It was the Rams DT, right? So I can understand that. Okay. But All-Pro second team, you got to give that to him. But no, they didn't want to do it. So that being said, that's the type of game. This game coming up was like, oh, you don't want to give me all pro? Aaron Donald, thank you very much. You don't want to give me all pro? Bet. Let me show you all pro numbers. Josh Allen, 600 yards passing. Could you imagine? It's not going to happen. But you understand what I'm saying. He goes off, right? And now that Josh he's ripped off 5 games in a row. He says last game was the best he's felt with the ball coming off his hand. If that's the case, if that's truly the case, yo, let's roll, man. Let's roll. We got this. We're going to take this. Real talk. All right. Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. So these Miami Dolphins right now, here it is. They've got the over-under is 43.5 is the over-under. And it's -4.5 for Kansas City. -4.5 for Kansas City. So they're saying, okay, it's going to be within a touchdown. It's going to be close. Is there an upset in the making for the Dolphins to go over the Kansas City Chiefs? Obviously, weather's going to be a factor in this game. Apparently, they're saying it's going to be -27 Fahrenheit. So -27 Fahrenheit equates to about -32 Celsius. For those that are like, why are you using Celsius? Because I live in Canada, folks, and we use Celsius over here. So -32 Celsius is cold. It is brick. When it's like -20 Celsius, -20, -25, we're like, ooh, shoot, we feel that, right? We're like, golly, okay, I'm feeling that. -32 is a different type of cold, especially when it's windy like that. Get your black ass or get your white ass out there and get inside the house, because it's not one of those games. It's not one of those days you want to go out snowshoeing. You know what I mean? You ain't trying to go out there and do all this other outdoor stuff, right? So who knows how this is all gonna play out? But it's gonna be a nasty one in Kansas City. It's gonna be cold. They're even saying it's so cold that don't let your skin get, you know what I mean, uncovered, right? Cover all your skin. You know who they're talking to? They're talking to the idiots that come in bare shirt. Those big fat dudes that come in bare shirt. You know what I mean, with the C on their chest and the H and all that stuff, and they're sitting there just having a good time with beer and stuff. Bro, this ain't the day to be cute like that. This ain't the day. You know what I'm saying? Bundle up, put on your stuff, and get going, because it's gonna be a cold one. So to me, it's about the run game in a game like this, snow, cold, and the run game. You got to give the run game to the Miami Dolphins. That's where they excel, and the Dolphins have a very legitimate chance to win this game. Real talk about it. If you forget about quarterback to quarterback, we already know what time it is. Quarterback to quarterback is Mahomes all day. But in these temperatures and how cold it's going to be, how quickly Tua gets the ball out of his hands, and you got Raheem Mostert and Devin A-Chain running the football, and a lot of motion and all over the place, they have a chance now. They run the ball extremely well. And I know they face each other in Germany, and the outcome wasn't the way the Dolphins wanted it, but this might be interesting. Isaiah Pacheco is nice. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, good back, not bad. But this is going to be the battle of who can run the ball better. But the O-line that's better in this case are the Kansas City Chiefs. So Andy Reid is going to have these boys rolling. So although it might be close, I can't see the Dolphins taking this. I think the Dolphins take a loss. I think they go another year without getting out of the first round. The last time they made it the first round, it was in 2008. 2008 was a great year. I was dating my wife at the time. You know what I'm saying? We met in 06, 07-ish. We got married in 09. So I remember 08 was, you know what I mean, when you were engaged and shit, everything's good. That's the last time that they won a damn thing. They got to the playoffs and never won a game after that. They've never gone further. I mean, at the time, what was going on? I mean, I've spoken to this at length. At the time, I think what was it? Twilight was something back then. Twilight, the werewolves and all that silliness. And what else was out there? I mean, there was some things that were out there. Right? Britney Spears was the thing. She was making her comeback. It's been a long time. That's all I'm trying to say. It's been a long time. You got me sounding like Aaliyah. It's been a long time. You know what I mean? It's been a long time. It's been a while. Tua is astronomically mid, and they don't play well in the cold weather, or against good teams. Well, this is where they get to defy the odds. They get to defy the odds. So we're gonna find out. But I'm picking the Chiefs nonetheless. The Chiefs should be able to win this one. There's no ways about this one. Yo, Reed looking swole, hitting them weights. Nah, man. I'm still the same old cat, brother. Same old cat, man. 200, 205 pounds. I could be a little under. I could be a little man. I could be at the 200 pounds. I'm at the 205 pound. I don't like it. Wifey's like, no, I like it. Keep it. Keep it. I like the man bod. Girl, get the heck out of here with that man bod nonsense. Ain't nobody rocking no man bod. You kidding me? Keep that for the other cats, bro. I ain't no man bod. I just got the former athlete type of guy. Yeah, that's what I got. Look at you swole. Boy, you crazy boy. Let's keep it rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling. So Kansas City, I say Kansas City takes this one. I think it's gonna be a closer one than that. And we'll go from there. My man said, yo, can you see my last comment? He goes, yo, Rico, my picks for this weekend: Chiefs by 7, Browns by 7, Steelers by 3, Lions by 3, Cowboys by 21, Eagles by 7. Damn, Cowboys by 21, huh? You think that the Cowboys are just going to come in like that and take care of the Lions like that? Never know. It's the playoffs, man. Appreciate you, Timothy. Appreciate you tuning in. Smash that like before you get out of here, brother. All right. Move on to the next. I say KC takes this one. Let me see what we got here. Next on the list for the next day on Sunday, Steelers Bills. I got the Bills winning this one. Listen, at the end of the day, how these Bills win this one is being physical, establishing their run. We really established the run, but not only that, we established the middle of the field. We fucking take over the middle of the field. That's James Cook taking over. That's Kincaid. That if we have to go 3 tight ends, we activate Quentin Morris, and we really want to, show them that we got them. We're cool, right? This is where we're going to find out whether Gabe Davis is a big-time factor in this offense or he's not. And then that means Trent Sherfield goes off. But we are the better team, but where we win this game is in the trenches. It's a must. We've got to be more physical, and we've got to take care. Kincaid has got to be a big part of this, and we go from there. And don't get me wrong, Josh is that dude, and Josh is going to have to use his legs to carry us and get this win, because Lord knows we need it. Lord knows every edge we can get and take in this game, bring it. We're going to take it. We're going to win it. That's the way we do it. That is the way. And defensively, we got some guys banged up. But at the end of the day, next man up. Christian Benford still playing at a high level. We got Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. Both those boys are there. Listen, Balin Spector might be the guy that plays. We just signed AJ Klein back onto the squad. So we'll see how that plays out, man. But we're talented, man. We're talented. We're well coached. I think we're going to be all right. And the way that Coach McDermott has been coaching an aggressive defense, bring it to me. I like it. Rico, how many rushing yards? Total rushing? I think we go over 100 yards rushing. They're a middle of the pack defense in stopping the run. So are we. So we're ranked right next to each other. But we do a better job taking the football away. Right. So we're very good defensively on third downs. So we're gonna find out how well those play into how we finish this game. But in terms of how many rush yards we get, I think we go over 100 yards rushing. Josh is probably gonna have between 30 to 40 yards rushing. I can't see him too much. Rushing 30 is pretty high, so I'll give him 30 to 40 yards rushing. And I think everybody gets in on this action. But I think we go up about I'd say like 130 yards rushing, $130. And if we want to win, we got to keep these guys under 100. We got to keep these boys under 100 yards and keep from the big splash plays. That's the big one, because these guys are known to have splash plays. They're 5th in the league with 14, 20+ yard splash run plays, folks. So we gotta be on top of that. And here's the big thing too: their rush defense is really good. They've only allowed 9 rushing touchdowns this year. The Steelers are 3rd in the league for 9 rushing touchdowns. So they once they get into the red zone, they defend very well in the red zone. Defend very, very well. But what they have not gone against is a guy like Josh Allen. So you gotta keep an account for Josh Allen. Don't F with that dude. He's that dude. So we'll see. We'll see how how these guys are going to line up and play. It's gonna be fun. It's definitely gonna be fun. But I got the Bills winning it. They got the Bills spread at minus 9.5. So Vegas is looking like this as like, bro, this is the biggest spread I've seen so far, guys. This is the biggest spread right now. So ESPN has the matchup predictor as 76.6% chance that the Bills win this game. So they are looking at this TJ Wattless team led by Mason Rudolph. I mean, shoot. Everybody's talking about it. You know what I mean? The Bills should be taking it. So we'll see. We'll see. Rico, if the Steelers win, I will drop 100 dono on the next stream, and you must wear a Steelers hat when they win. Deal or no deal. I don't got no Steelers hat, man. I have no Steelers hat. But if the Steelers win, I'll tell you this. I'll put on camera. If the Steelers win, I'll find something yellow to like drape over my shoulders or something. I'll give you 5 minutes of that. 5 minutes of that. If that's a deal, let's lock it in right now. I'll give you 5 minutes. I'll put something yellow on or something to show, or I'll even do one of these just for you. You know what I'm saying? Just to show, you know what I mean? I'm a man of my word, but you got to be a man of your word. If you can come in and put $100 dono, I'm in. Let's make that thing happen, man. You give me that virtual handshake and let's get that thing going. So yeah, that's up, man. Pittsburgh should be able to come in and come in and do what they need to do, but the Bills should be able to take this. There should be no questions about it. Let's move on to the next one. Packers Cowboys, man. Listen, they have this one as -7. Only -7. I would have thought that was gonna be way bigger. So here's the thing. The Packers, Jason McCarthy's going back to play against his old squad. I mean, that's the gist of it, really, at the end of the day. So Cowboys should be able to whoop ass on this one. They should be able to whoop ass. If they lose this game, my goodness, if the Cowboys find a way to lose to the Packers and Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, Zaire Alexander that's got a bummed ankle, golly. He says, yo, in previous year, hold on a second. You can wear something yellow if the Steelers win, and I will drop 100 dono. That's the deal. We locked in. I'll find something yellow to rock, and then we're going to do it. 100 dolo. Listen, I just got $100 richer. Let's go. Or I'm going to make myself look like a damn fool in my next stream. Remember, it's five minutes. I'll put it on my back. I'll do whatever, and we got ourselves a deal. Where's my guy? John Herring says, yo, in previous years, it would be a problem with the weather because of the passing. But this is a new team with new dynamic. Buffalo actually runs the ball. Absolutely. This is the thing. Before, you could kind of take away Josh Allen's passing lanes and say, yo, if they're going to beat us, they got to run the football. Now you're like, shit, we can't let them run the football because if they do, they're just going to keep doing it. We got to fucking stack that box. Shit, if we stack the box, he's going to hit us with the play action and we're going to kill us. Pick your poison. Pick your poison. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You got to pick your poison. So we'll see. But Cowboys losing to the Packers, bro, if that happens, Stephen A. Smith is going to have a field day. He's going to have a field day. Skip Bayless, he's going to have a heart attack. This boy can't take it. He's going to sit there in his camera and just for like 15 minutes. He's not going to be able to take it. There's no way the Packers come in and beat the Cowboys. It just can't happen. It can't happen. And right now, they're a pissed off Cowboys team. They're pissed off. So they better come in here and whoop some tail. -7 is the spread. Very modest with a total of 50. So we'll see how that plays out, man. I can't see it. I think Jordan Love buckles and it's not their time. Here's the game. I think this is one of the best games that's going to be played is the Rams and Lions. Here's another script writing. Matthew Stafford goes back to play against his former team in Detroit. Jared Goff faces his former team in the Rams. Cooper Kupp, like that's you can't make this shit up, can you? I'm sounding like Kevin Samuels, man. You can't make this shit up, but that's craziness. And right now, the way that Jared Goff's been playing, Jared Goff had 4,500 yards this year, 30 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. That's a solid year. Solid year. They got a big time back in Kyron Williams with the Rams. The Rams got a big time back. He almost had 1,200 yards rushing. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, all-pro second team, 1,500 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns. Massive year. Yo, these lines are no joke. And right now, the Lions are favored -3 over the Rams. So that's a tough one, man. That's going to be a tough one. To me, give me the Cowboys or the Packers, Bills over Steelers. Oh, see, I want the Lions to win. I want the Lions to win. And because of their history, because of the greatest running back that's ever played in Barry Sanders, I want the Lions to win because the Lions deserve it, man. They've had some rough years in the past. And the Rams have already won a Super Bowl. So leave some for the rest of us. All right. Give me the Lions over the Rams. Give me the Lions over the Rams. But I feel like it's going to be a very, very tough one. That's going to be a close game. And last but not least, my upset of the week, it's going to be the Buccaneers over the Eagles. I just think the Eagles are just on the way. They just haven't played the best or their best football. They haven't. Looking at their last 5 games, what have they done the last 5 games? Give me a second here. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up here and see what these boys are all about, because something tells me that there's nothing really. They haven't really done much too special the last 4 games. So their last games was they lost against. Excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. So, oh my gosh, they didn't play well at all, man. Check this out. So they won against the Bills, right? That overtime disgusting loss that we got to them, that we should have whooped their ass. We should have won that game 100%. Gabe Davis just has to go on the inside and it's over with, right? They lose to the Niners 42-19. They lose to the Cowboys 33-13, right? They lose to the Seahawks 20-17. They barely got out of it against the Giants. Tyrod Taylor pushed them right to the edge, right? So they win one. They lose to the Cardinals 35-31, and then they lose to the Giants. Dude, their last, how many games? We'll say after the Bills, because they had a 4-game stretch, a 5-game stretch that they won when they beat the Bills. Then they lost 3. So their last 6, they've lost 5 of their last 6. Bro, the Eagles are not winning this game. Give me the Buccaneers with the upset. Baker Mayfield, surprisingly, people don't realize how good of a year Baker Mayfield had. Baker Mayfield was looking like old Baker Mayfield. It's just the problem is that South division is a freaking odd one, right? But the fact of the point is they won. They won it. They put 9 points up against a weak ass Panthers team. But think about it. They've gone after they lost that close one to the Colts 27-20. They ripped one off against the Panthers 21-18, Falcons 29-25. Then they beat the Packers 34-20. Then they beat the Jaguars 30-12, lost to the Saints, and then they beat the Panthers in the end to win it. So right now they're on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 out of 5. So 5 out of 6 games they've won. Give them credit, man. They're hot right now. So I say the Bucks upset the Eagles. That's it. Rashad White is playing extremely hard. He's a tough runner. And right now, defensively, the Eagles aren't playing well. And right now, if you look at Baker Mayfield, 4,000 yards passing, 28 touchdowns. Bro, he had a good year. Baker Mayfield had a damn good year. Give him credit. Give him credit. Eagles coach on the hot seat. It's just they're a hot mess, bro. Howie Roseman, I know you spent a lot of money on that squad, but Sirianni's about to, you know what I mean? He's about to lose this one for you. So Eagles are gonna get taken down by the Bucks. So let me just go back and give you my recaps. So I got Houston over the Browns. I'm taking Houston over the Browns. I don't see it as an upset. I think they match up well. But Houston over the Browns. I got KC over Miami, Buffalo over Pittsburgh. I got Dallas over Green Bay. I got Detroit over the Rams, although I think it's going to be a close one. And my upset special is going to be Tampa Bay over Philly. Tampa over Philly, and that's how I have it. Let me know what you guys pick. I don't know what your picks are, but let me know how you guys feel about it, and we'll go from there. So before I get out of here, folks, just want to give you guys thanks for tuning in and smashing that like. And obviously, all is love. You guys are going to notice that I'm rocking the barbershop tee. You know what I'm saying? With the boys that we got to get back on it, because everything scheduling wise has been so off. These games have been we've been doing. I mean, obviously these games in prime time, they're late. So I do my live show, and then now it's like, hey, we got to get together and do an afterwards. Like, yo, it's like 2:00 in the morning. Let's do it tomorrow. And then work gets in the way. It's all that. But we got to get back to it. I have to represent for the barbershop. Go ahead and cop that, and we'll go from there, folks. But yeah, man, that's it for me. That's it for me. I hope you guys have a great night. And football begins tomorrow. It's playoff football. Everyone knows that things change, and everything gets thrown out the window in regular season. Now it's playoff time. So let's recap on how this matchup should go against the Bills and Steelers. Big respect to the Steelers. They said there ain't no disrespect gonna come from me. Big time respect to the Steelers. I think that they backed into the playoffs. Shout out to my man Mike Tomlin. But I think this is where the train stops here in Buffalo. I mean, get off, find your way back to Pittsburgh because this is the last ride. This is the last ride for y'all. And with respect, obviously, I think you guys are gonna put a valiant effort, but then the Bills are gonna show you that we're just the better team and we're just we're hungrier. We're hungrier for it because too much has gone on. We went 6-6 at one point, ready to get out of this thing, and it's not happening. And here's a nugget. And shout out to my man Bartek, my Polish homie. He sent me a link. Excuse me. He sent me a nugget. He goes, "Hey man," I guess he works with this Steelers fan, and he goes, "Yo, this Steelers guy told him the Bills, whoever wins this game right now, has gone to the Super Bowl." Listen to this, right? So the Bills only met in the playoffs in 96 and in 93. You guys already know what time it is, right? In 93, the Bills won and made it to the Super Bowl. In 96, the Steelers won and made it to the Super Bowl. And in 1974, the Steelers beat the Bills and won the Super Bowl against Minnesota. So if indeed this is true, we win this game, and if things play out the way it's supposed to, we're going to the Super Bowl. That's just what it is. It's just what it is. Now, I can't see these boys beating us and then them going to the Super Bowl. But it's apropos that the Bills take on the Steelers, we beat the Steelers, and we go on a run. Jonathan Dobrowski is like, yo, don't believe everything you say. Don't believe everything. Don't believe everything, Rico. Listen, I'm only going by the nugget that my homie sent me. He said his friend is a big I guess somebody he works with is a big Steelers fan. And he says, yo, man, I've been watching this. This is what it is. If you guys win this, you're going to the Super Bowl because every time that we played in the playoffs, whatever team won that game ended up going to the Super Bowl. Now, so many things have happened. The last couple of years, it was like, oh, guys, don't forget this time the Bills won 5 straight in 1990 something, and they ended up going to the Super Bowl. Look what we've done. We did this, and we're going to go all out the window. All we have to do is make sure that Josh Allen doesn't turn the damn football over. You know he's good for one. So if you're good for one, Josh, make sure that one is early in the game. Early in the game, and it's like on their end, right? On the 1 yard line or something like that. Now it's gonna hurt us because that could turn into 6 points. That could turn into 3 points. But it hurt us. But we need to win. Just win this fucking game. That's all that matters to me. And here's another nugget as well that I overheard not too long ago. When it comes to it was really a nugget, but it was like the Dolphins game that we just played, it could have been way worse. Like giving the ball up in the red zone twice. Well, one in the red zone, one in the green zone. Like that easily is 14 points there, if anything. If anything, that's 7 points for one touchdown, because I'm sure we would have got one and a couple field goals, right? So like we would have beat these guys hard. Don't forget, James Cook dropped one in the end zone. There's another touchdown that would have had. So the way the game went down, that we only won by 7.6 points or whatever, it would have been way worse if we did what we were supposed to do. So I'm confident. I'm very confident in my squad, but I'm not cocky. And that's why I put this as our Bills overconfident. I think some Bills are overconfident, but I think it's more they feel really good about where we are. I don't think it's a sense of cockiness. I think we know better than that. All right. And because Bills fans know better than that, it'll be a much more enjoyable game. That's the way I look at it. Walter says, we went the whole night and haven't brought up McDermott once, and the pressure on him to get us over the hump. He's now tied as the 4th longest tenured head coach and the only one to not make it to the Super Bowl. See, Walter, I don't fall for that hype, man. I don't fall for that hype. I know that everybody wants to make it a thing. He's the longest tenured head coach with a quarterback, with the same quarterback that haven't done it. I don't buy into it too much, and I'm not dismissing what you're saying either, because I remember seeing that statistic, and it's like, okay, well then we should make a change, and then we make a change, and now we're still fighting to make the playoffs when we're so close with this one coach, right? But it doesn't go unnoticed. Now, you want to bring up McDermott? We could. I don't see the purpose of bringing up McDermott, because McDermott has been coaching his ass off these last 6 weeks. And if someone tells me any different, you tripping, because he's been coaching his ass off ever since he's made that change at the offensive coordinator spot. The defense has not been the reason that this team has let us down. The defense has not been the reason that the team has let us down. It's always been other circumstances. Offense is not getting their act together or not putting up points on the board. But then notice that we rip off 5 wins in a row because the defense is doing their part, making defensive stops, and so is the offense. So for me to bring up McDermott, what am I bringing up McDermott for? He's been doing his part. So now that we're in the playoffs, we got to make sure that we do our part yet again. And the defense so far has shown me that they've learned from their errors and their mistakes, and that we should be able to be complementary to our offense. And the offense seems to be doing quite well under the tutelage, or the control of Joe Brady. So right now, we should be aligned and in line to do big things in this playoffs, because everybody seems to be where they're supposed to be. That's a completely different story from what you're talking about, Rico. That stat I mentioned has to do with current head coaches. Oh, with the current head coaches in the playoff run right now, or just current head coaches altogether? If it's current head coaches altogether, it still doesn't affect me. And like, oh well, he's been with his quarterback for that long, and they still haven't made the playoffs, and they haven't made the Super Bowl. It's so damn hard to make the Super Bowl, right? But the one thing that you can tell is that these guys are always in line to be competitive enough to make the playoffs. Now, will he fall into the Andy Reid position, where Andy Reid was with that team and did bring them to a Super Bowl, but could never win one, where at one point they just said, we're just going to cut ties because we just can't get it done with you? Now that's a whole nother ballgame. But I don't think we've reached the point where we're like, yo, we've reached a plateau with this team where, all right, with you, McDermott, it just doesn't seem it, especially with the fact that they've given him an extension. He's got an extension now. So that does play a part. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dismissing what you're saying, Walter, because I think it's a great point to bring up, and it's been brought up before. But I'm not there yet to say, well, we should talk about that. I'm not there yet. I'm more in line of too many injuries have happened. If we have Trey White, Matt Milano, all those guys, are we in this situation? I think we're in a very strong situation. And the fact that he's been able to still keep this team competitive enough, knowing what we've gone through, I don't think that we should be talking about how, like, he should be having a Super Bowl by now. It's so damn hard to make the Super Bowl. So damn hard. I think we all know that. And the fact that the freaking 90s Bills were able to make it 4 years in a row is absolutely crazy to me. But fair point nonetheless. Oh, wow, you ain't messing around. You're still alive. Oh, man, thanks. That's how we roll, bro. That's how we roll, man. I'm about to actually sign off right now anyway. So, but I appreciate you, man. But Walter, great point nonetheless, bro. Great point nonetheless. I see what you're saying. But we can go from there. Paul Custer says, yo, besides Patriots and Steelers have won 6 Super Bowls each, he's not going there. And Iron Mike Tomlin isn't going anywhere either. Nah, Mike Tomlin is going to be there for a minute. The Rooneys do not listen. Before Mike Tomlin, it's been so long. It was freaking Coward. Was it not Coward? It's been so long, right? Coward, Tomlin. These guys don't change coaches, bro. They try to stick with the same damn coach going forward. So I can't see them switching anytime soon. And Tomlin don't seem like he was ready to go anywhere anytime soon. My point is, we've just seen 2 all-time great coaches lose their job this week, and hearing rumors about the Eagles coach that just made the Super Bowl potentially lose his job. McDermott has been given time. No, he definitely has. But keep in mind, Sirianni. The coaches that lost their jobs. Let's look at it, top of my head. Look at Vrabel lost his job because that team. You had an owner that was meddling and moving things around, and then a new owner comes in, and the new owner did not choose Vrabel to be his coach. And the way things were playing out, the quarterback situation was a mess. Malik was going to start, then it was Tannehill. Tannehill was no good, and then it just was. They just were too inconsistent. Then you had a bunch of aging contracts on there. They're like, "Yo, let me just move on from you and just kind of start." I mean, when they traded Kevin Byard, I knew, all right, this is a team that they ain't gonna have the same coach there. Fine, Vrabel's gone. Then let's go to Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith drafts a running back in the first round and rarely uses them, and is not giving the ball in the crunch time. And he had an opportunity, him in that ownership and GM had an opportunity to go after Lamar Jackson. They failed to go after Lamar Jackson because we're gonna give Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke an opportunity to freaking do things. You could have had Lamar Jackson. Whether they were going to do it or not, who knows? But you needed 2 first-round picks for a guy that could be the MVP and that was an MVP. They played themselves. And then Arthur Smith now doesn't have a quarterback, and he's dealing with 2 bums at quarterback, and you had an opportunity to make the playoffs, and you didn't. You're out of there. You're gone. So I could see totally why that happened. So that's coach number 2. Let me. Who else was it that got let go? Obviously, Bill Belichick. It was time. 24 years with the same team, 6 championships. And there just seems to be where Robert Kraft was like, all right, man, like, I think it's time for to part ways, because the last 3 years, ever since Tom Brady left, we haven't been competitive enough. And they haven't. They have not been competitive enough. And the GM, Bill Belichick, has been terrible. Absolutely terrible. So you're out of there. Gone. Seattle, no different. Seattle hasn't been back to the dance since, the Russell Wilson days, and Pete Carroll with his gum chewing ass, 72 years of age, bro. I mean, he was active as ever. Don't get me wrong, he was active. That boy was running up and down the field, chewing gum, and all that stuff. But it came to a time where it's like, all right, man, let's try to get some fresh faces and all that stuff. You're 72 years old, just retire, and he did. He's retired now. So a lot of these coaches that got let go and all these vacancies are opening up because it's just they've grown stagnant. They haven't done anything with their team, and that's that. McDermott, on the other hand, got this team surging, and they're doing good things. Sirianni's the only one that can say, okay, like he had his team in the Super Bowl just last year. Y'all are ready to move on from him. That's the one that puzzles me the most. That you're ready to move on from Sirianni, like where he just had your team in the Super Bowl just last year, and he's got the pulse of the team. But when things go bad, this is where you can try to see if does this guy have what it takes to kind of right the ship, right? Things were, we're a little rocky with McDermott at one point, but you know what? He could have tucked his tail between his legs and went 6-7, 6-8, and just they fell apart, but they didn't. They got their shit together. Other guys just fell apart. Sometimes you're built for it, sometimes you're not. I just went on a freaking whole rant, but just looking at the coaching vacancies, I mean, Ron Rivera, he should have been gone long ago. Get out of here, man. I mean, the Panthers, they should have never even brought in that coach. They brought in Frank Reich. I don't think he was right for the job personally. And they picked the wrong quarterback, frankly. And that's the problem. They were going back and forth, and the owner's an idiot, tossing drinks at people's faces. Oh, man, that we would have had something. We would have went at it, that's for sure. But like all the coaching changes that were happening were necessary. Were necessary. Yeah, I said Arthur Smith is gone. I mean, what coach got let go that shouldn't have got let go? Maybe the one that I think that should have never got let go, which I found was odd, was Vrabel. I think Vrabel was a damn good coach, but I understood why, because the owner, Ron Carthen, I think his name is, was like, you're not my guy, and I'm doing a fresh start. And sometimes these are good things to do a fresh start, and sometimes it is, right? But when you traded A.J. Brown, that was the end of it. You traded a guy that wanted to be there, that would have had big money. You had Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown. You could have built off of that. Imagine you put Will Levis with A.J. Brown still. Bro, they would have ate. And D-Hop probably would have joined the squad too. We would have had both those guys. Come on now. So anyway, second chance for Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera didn't take full advantage of it. I don't know even why they even drafted him. They put him over there. He had a good ass squad, and just they didn't do anything. So now you got Eric Bieniemy, Does Eric Bieniemy become that coach? I highly doubt it. So what goes on with Eric Bieniemy? Is someone going to want Eric Bieniemy to stay on that squad? Is he going to be free agent to go wherever he wants? I don't know. We'll see. What's up, Walter? Walter says, you said it yourself, Rico. This is a new season. You're right. The problem has been in the postseason that the regular season defenses haven't translated to the postseason. Why should I expect change this year? You're right. That's why it's going to be crucial to see how we do this. You're bang on, brother. Everything you did in the regular season is out the window now. And that's why I want to give respect to the Steelers, because they're coming with a whole new fresh way of looking at things, right? So what you did in the regular season is out the way. But what gives me hope is that McDermott has learned his ways and he keeps it going. Now, if he doesn't and he freaking falters, that's a whole nother ballgame. It's all about how badly the team looks. But I can't see the team looking terribly because I think that we're onto something. But we'll see. We'll see. Great conversation, by the way. Great question, Walter. Walter with his questions sometimes always brings the best out of me. I'll tell you. I appreciate you, Walter. You're a good man. But I also set these conversations up so that way you're like, wait, hold on a minute, which I appreciate because it allows us to have dialogue, which is great. But I like McDermott for this squad. I think he's the perfect fit for this squad. And I think that we will push. I think we're going to push it really well back. I think he's learned his ways, because a lot of times these mistakes that we were making during the playoffs was lack of learning from your past and lack of learning from your mistakes. And sometimes people take a little bit of time to learn from the mistakes. Sometimes they do, like we as humans, right? Don't date that girl. I'm going to date her anyway. You know what I mean? And then she breaks your heart and you learn. Oh, you're about to date the same damn girl. Yeah, but she's different. Then you learn again. And then sometimes it takes one time, maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times, right? So with McDermott, he's probably had to, you know what I mean, fall on his face. Obviously, we've seen it. He's fallen on his face a few times. I hope that this is the time where he's like, fuck, I fell on my face many times. I like the chemistry that I have going. I like the formula that I have. I think this is it. I think this is where he's put things together. It just sucks that we're having all these damn injuries to our defense. But yet again, he still has his team in great position. So we'll see. So we will see. Damn, I spoke way too long today. I was supposed to get off here about 45 minutes ago. Here I am still podcasting and doing my thing. So that being said, folks, this is where I truly will let you guys go. Have yourself a pleasant evening. It is 10:30 at night, your time, 11:30 my time. And the wife probably went to sleep, or she's upstairs waiting for me to hang out with her. So, folks, big weekend slate of games is going to be fun. 1 p.m. game. Finally, we're back at 1 p.m. I know some people love that 1 p.m. slot, and we'll be right at it. I gotta do soccer with the girls. And wifey was like, "Oh, you're going to soccer?" I was like, "What time is it at?" She's like, 11. I was like, "Whew, we're good. We got enough time to make it back." So we'll be back at it again. Tomorrow, we've got Z-Bot and Rev. That'll be between both games. So between the first game and the second game, they're going to be going live. I might join, depending on, the family dynamic and what we're doing. And we'll have a good time and get on live and chop it up and do all that good stuff. So that being said, you guys have a fantastic evening. And if you guys haven't made your picks yet, go ahead and make your picks, right? You guys already know what it is, man. This is the time, playoff time, that you can make a little money in your bank. Go ahead and make your picks if you're good enough to make those picks, because if you don't, and if you're interested and you're like, yo, but where do I go to do this? Where do I make these picks? It's simple as this, folks.
Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. In the Pick'em game, you can pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in that week's game for a chance to win big. And as you already know, I'm going Josh Allen higher in yards every single week. So sign up today with promo code Buffalo Fanatics and get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Visit underdogfantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with promo code Buffalo Fanatics to get your first deposit doubled up to $100.
All right. Salute to everyone that tuned in for the show. Much love, and a big special shout out to members, the Bing Squad. I see you guys all in the chat. I see you guys, Jeremy Bennett, Jeff B. What's up to everybody tuned in? And Obviously, you guys have been showing love. Walter, my man, Walter's in the house right now. You guys have been showing love right from preseason through draft talk, through this whole way. This is why we do all this stuff for when we get to the playoffs to make this thing happen. So, fam, let's make it work. True Gun says, yo, making love to my lady entire podcast. Go Bills. Hey, man, do what you do. Whatever that I can help make the mood, the right mood, while your boy is in the background talking Bills and you doing your thing. Clap them cheeks, my guy. Clap them cheeks. Salute to everybody. Appreciate you. Have yourself a fantastic evening. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Bills, Steelers, Sunday. We got the Texans, the Browns, and we got the KC and the Dolphins tomorrow. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. We'll see you guys live tomorrow night. Z-Bot, Rev, and maybe myself. Until next time, Puerto Rico. It's the Buffalo Fanatics, the Rico Report. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace. Let's go. You guys have a great night. Peace.